Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty up the crack and we stacking chips, all of it's what I want. Plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone. I prefer elevated public sports radio. Time to get educated, get produced, leave the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call it truth. They getting slaughtered. Can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon 'cause we be pubbing.
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, November 10th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. There is a ton of things we need to review and go over, but the most important thing for us right now is one of the guys we love by far the most. God, just love this guy so much. Our DJ Big Boss is in the hospital. It's third day there. So if we could all send him as much love and prayers and positivity. Also, throw a DM over to Big Boss and just let him know how much he's loved. And let's get him back home with his family. So just sucks having DJ Big Boss in there. So if we could all just, come on, think about this guy. I mean, there's just, is there anybody who brings more smiles to people than DJ Big Boss? I don't know if you guys have had the opportunity to meet him in person, but in person or just on camera, the guy is he's fucking magic. It's fucking magic. So can we please just send out as much love and then send him a DM, let him know that we are all thinking about him. That's the most important thing on today's show. The most important thing in our prayers and all of our positivity that we sent to Nutflush's dad. He had heart surgery that was required immediately, and they didn't know if he was gonna make it through. It was one of those things where he wasn't. There was a good chance he wouldn't make it through, and he did. He's stronger. So let's just the power of positive thinking and the power of positivity for our DJ Big Boss. Thank you guys so much for running with us. This is a big card, and I'm really excited about it. There's razor sharp picks in the chat. 4-1 day yesterday. Nice work. Razor running hot. As always, Ryan Mueller in the house. There's Clint Star, the diehard MMA podcast. Sky Dragon 13-2 in NBA last night. Wow. Spectacular work. I did not do that. I somehow didn't lose money on the day somehow after losing a double up on the Raptors and a double up on the Timberwolves. I ended up going 6-6 down 0.04 units. We'll go over all of that, but spectacular work. I've had a tough start. Dennis, I need to know. We got 4 games that we can deep dive on today. Everybody giving love to our guy, DJ Big Boss. I love that. Birdie in the house. Andrew G. Creek, man. Joey Harb, Bo Jackson, James S. Billy Friedrich, Mike M. Breadman. A great group. Quick review of last night. One thing I've been doing is when I have action on a money line or spread or whatever, I've been betting team total unders on the team that I'm against. That helped me a lot yesterday. I was 4 seconds away from having a big night in the NHL. I lost on the Hurricanes -1. Panthers team total under 3. They got their 3 with 4 seconds left. Penguins -1 to +131. Capitals team total under 3 gave me a 2-1 night plus 1.31 units. I love the way Sky Dragon handled NHL last night. He took all 4 home dogs. It's a fun way of hammering things. It would have been a really fun way of handling things in Vegas. And us staying off the Canucks was, easy. I mean, it was easy, but God, did they look bad. So in NBA, so at 2-1 plus 1.31 units, another nice day in college football. Look, I was wrong about Western Michigan, but Northern Illinois didn't score over 24.5 points. So we cashed Northern Illinois team total under. We cashed Kent State Bowling Green under 55.5. The market made no sense why Bowling Green wasn't a favorite and why it opened up at 2.5 and got all this money on Bowling Green. It didn't move. So it was good that we just were on the under 55.5, which cashed easily. Shout out to Mike M for the Pimp Slot play of the day, was on that as well. So a 2-1 day in college football, plus 1 unit. And then in NBA, it was rough. Raptors first quarter, Raptors first half looked awful right away. But the Raptors held the Rockets to 17 points in the second quarter. So we did cash our first half team total under 54.5 by a hook. And then you have options on first quarters to take money lines or to take the plus a half. And taking the plus a half with the Bulls first quarter saved my night. The difference between the plus a half and the money line was 15 cents. And that's expensive. So I'm not sure long range if it is a successful thing. But first quarter, that plus a half saved my night. And then Timberwolves first quarter and Timberwolves full game was atrocious. But it was a mistake where we see these teams rise up in that first game without their star. The Suns looked so bad in Philadelphia, and then the Timberwolves are a train wreck right now. And I'm not handling that well. So we're real ugly in NBA. Real ugly record so far to start the year. That record will be shining proudly. Not proudly, but it'll be on when we break down NBA. NHL, we started 0-7 down 7.66 units. We're now 16-18 down 1.47 units. And I spent a lot of time on the NHL card, hours. So let's just get into NHL right now. NFL and college football, we're just destroying. NFL will do that second after NHL, 65-36, 64.4%, plus 25.5 units. College football, 28-14, 66.7%, plus 12.8 units. 28-14. This is working for me. I don't have time to do it all. When I stretch myself too thin, I start losing. We've only been capping the midweek games pretty much all year. And we've only made 42 bets college football. Who cares when you have hit 28 of them? So we're just going to keep that system going. Great to see all you guys. This is exciting. I'm very, very, very excited about this giant card here tonight. And I'm excited to break this down with our guy, Mr. Gogster. And I don't have Mr. Gogster's NHL record up. And I'll use his record as well on Tuesdays with Peter Loshak. I've started on it. I've got to finish it. But we all saw what he did with Damian Pierce on his props last week for the Thursday nighter. So we'll have all that up here. And Osby said every time. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, you're right, Osby. But there was some. Here, let's pop Osby's comment up here. There was some right, and that's just that the Hurricanes play the right way on the road. That full game under was a gift. Unfortunately, I just felt like I needed to correlate my action with the team total under for the Panthers that I got plus 112. That push. That was 4 seconds away. I was 4 seconds away from turning a profit in that game, Oz. But you're right. You're absolutely right. There's Teflon Don in the house giving prayers to. Nasty Nate, don't worry. We'll beat up this NHL segment. We're only 9 minutes into the show. Billy Friedrich says, I hate to say it as a Canes fan, but Edmonton at plus money tonight. And yes, we talked about Freddie, but we also have talked about their AHL netminder, Peter Krochekov, I believe his name is. And we have all the stats and everything set up. So we will break all that down. So Von Polo in the house. Mark Tequila said Western Michigan was absolute robbery. Had that game the entire way. Offense fell apart and played way too conservative. Yeah, I was upset. But again, we catch the team total under for the Huskies. And Slatsy said, got buried in the NHL last night. Man, those Canucks might be the softest team in the NHL. Trade for Cassian. Look, I know we had a terrible start with our team, but bring Cassian back and have at least some semblance of toughness. They're such... Oh, I just hate... it's very tough to watch them. There's Jay Peasy. Says, fading Lakers first quarter cashed again. Jay Peasy ready to go. Razor says, Nets own the Knicks. That was easy money. And Christopher Comtini actually jumped on the Pens last night. The Pens was the reason why we had a successful night last night. It's tough to get in the way of a 7-game losing streak, but remember, it's 5 years of us working together. When a team is missing 2 of their top 4 defensemen, I had to wait till about 4 o'clock to get that confirmed. They're a fade every time, fade every opportunity, fade. And look, they scored 1 goal. It was gorgeous. All right, Kate State Bowling Green under was gorgeous. Yeah, DC Capper gave that to us on his way to the casino. We had DC Capper on that. We had Mike M on that. It was gorgeous. Okay, let's get to work, you guys. And look, yesterday was a rough day. And here with the official picks, we end up 6-6 minus 0.04 units. That's the big difference in why we've had such a successful year. Our bad days are not that bad, but let's turn it around and have a giant day right now. I can't wait to bring on your guest, Pride of Belleville, Ontario, and he's running nice. The football picks he gave on Damian Pierce last week were very, very astute. And I'm excited to cap this giant NHL card, and I put a ton of time into it. Please welcome to the show, Mr. Gogster. Now, it's Gogster. How are you?
Doing good, guys. Jimmy, thanks for having me on, brother. Got all transparency. People watching the show got crushed on Tuesday there, Jim, with Pete. So looking to have a nice bounce back here. Put a lot of effort into this show. We got the NFL picks as well. We got props. We're looking to get after it, guys. Sending the best to DJ Big Boss as well. That's an OG right there. So send my best to my brother there.
Yeah, he's an OG, and if you could just if some point in the day, if everybody could just take a second, send him a DM, and just let him know truly how loved he is, and how much positive energy we are sending his way. We know that helps. There's no question about that. Great. All right, Mr. Gogster, we have a giant NHL card, and not all low baggers love the NHL. So let's try to get through this in a decent amount of time, not too long.
Light up a bat, nasty, and when you're done the bat, we should be maybe two actually. We should be done.
Yeah, smoke that bat. Get yourself a coffee.
That's right.
Okay, let's get to work, Mr. Gogster. I really want to heat up in NHL. I feel like I've seen enough. I feel quite comfortable with these teams. I made some wrong assessments before the year started. I've kind of adjusted how I'm seeing things, and I'm ready to attack. We start Calgary Flames at Boston Bruins. Thank you for joining us here on Pub Sports Radio. Got Mr. Gogster in the house, and thank you to our producer, Jose Bouquet. Let's go. Calgary Flames 5-5-2, 1-1-1 on the road. Nothing makes me happier than watching this team lose. But I do think they have some value here this evening. At the Boston Bruins, 11-2-0, 7-0 at home. TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. Do you want to get in the way of a team that's 7-0 at home? That's probably not a wise decision, but I want to. The Bruins opened up at minus 164. They're up to minus 188, a 24-cent move towards them. From a total standpoint, we open up at 6 minus 114 to the over. It's come back 2 cents to the over, 2 cents. Bo Jackson says, give me them Bruins. Billy Friedrich says, how's Boston minus 200?
You see who's in the lineup?
Charlie McAvoy. McAvoy coming back here. Let's take a look at the cash. Now, that's not always a good thing.
I know, it ain't. It's not.
It's going to be great in the long run. But just game one, that's not always such a good thing. But I'm just gonna set a quick table for you, Gogster, and have you rock. Sky Dragon says the Flames' demise has been greatly exaggerated. Oh, look, they're not dead. They've just lost 5 straight, and I pointed at the TV laughing. 2,622 tickets in, 32% of the tickets and 77% of the cash on the Calgary Flames. And that makes sense to me. But if you're going to move on the Calgary Flames, do not bet now. Sit back and wait. The Bruins' money is going to be coming all day. This total this has 34% of tickets on the under and 45% of cash on the under. And Sun Dizzle says his favorite airport shows back. Sun Dizzle back on the road. There's Res Mob in the house. Billy Friedrich says, who will be the dirtier rat player tonight, Marchand or Kadri? I love them both. When you play hockey, you understand how special these two guys are. So you can call him a dirty rat, and they love hearing it. I love them both. We have Jacob Markstrom going up against Linus Ullmark is my expectation. Markstrom 4-3-2, 2.97 goals against average, 893 save percentage. He's not being good. Enjoy that contract, Flames fans. Linus Ullmark 9-1-0, 2.05 goals against average, 932 save percentage, 1 shot. He's been spectacular. Calgary power play at 23.1%, penalty killing at 80%. Boston power play at 26.7%, penalty killing at 93.3%. Flames coming off their 6th straight loss, 3-2 at the Devils on Tuesday night. Jonathan Huberdeau and Michael Stone are both day-to-day with injuries. Huberdeau has been weak to start the year. 2 measly assists, 5-on-5, 1 goal, 5 assists in 11 games. Michael Stone has been a bit player journeyman throughout his career. Started with the Calgary Hitmen. God, we got to go. I don't have it in front of me. We got to go back to like 06 and 07, 08. A big, tough guy, and he's been excellent this year. 2 goals, 3 assists, +6, 6'3", 210 pounds. It's a big loss for that blue line. Bruins are playing excellent hockey, sit above the East at 11-2. They're coming off a 3-1 win at home over the Blues on Monday. Charlie McAvoy going to be back in the lineup. Jeremy Swayman still hurt. David Pasternak has been a monster. 8 goals, 12 assists, 20 points, +4. Patrice Bergeron, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points, +9. This forward group is so deep all of a sudden. It's so deep. Jake DeBrusk, he's had a bounce-back spot. I got him in the hockey bowl. Taylor Hall's been good enough. Krejci has been great. Zacha, Marchand, we haven't even mentioned. You got Foligno there for leadership and toughness. Coyle for defensive responsibilities. And you talked about Hampus Lindholm. How spectacular has he been? Yeah. 4 goals, 9 assists, 13 points, +12, playing 24-13 a game. He's been unbelievable. And look at Connor Clifton. You know, we say some negative things about small defensemen sometimes, but he's a small defenseman who's been very good. Take it away for us, Mr. Gogster. I've not made a single bet on this entire card yet. Take it away, Flames, Bruins.
Yeah, so I think this team's just all around. It's just an all-around great hockey team, like you've been saying, Jim. Like top to bottom, it's got a bit of toughness, it's got speed, it's got goal scoring, it's got everything. It's got goaltending. And looking at Calgary guys, they're banged up. They're banged up, Jimmy. Huberdeau and Tanev aren't going to be playing, from what I'm seeing. They're not in the lineup. So you missed Huberdeau and Tanev. There's even more problems if the Calgary didn't have enough there. So missing those 2 players. What else? They're also going to have Vladar in net, Jimmy, I think. I don't think it really? Well, Markstrom's went on the 5th. He's going to go on the 7th. He hit a back-to-back on the 8th, which I thought Vladar was going to have. So this is probably more likely than not going to be a Vladar spot, unless he goes 4 starts in 6 nights, and he's lost his last 5 games. So I could really see them going to Vladar. Could be another reason for the high line movement. I'm going to add this in a money line parlay for Boston. That's where I'm going to go with your guys. I haven't been betting Boston at all. Hopefully they don't bite me here, but I have a hard time seeing. It's the end of a road trip too for Calgary. They're going to go home soon after this game and play 2 at home against Winnipeg and LA. So I think this is going to be I'd even lean to a team total under on Calgary.
I think this is Flames are no bet for me, but I guess it's just going to be no bet. The Flames, as much as I'm happy watching them lose, they're still a good hockey team, and they're an angry hockey team. And you have the Bruins having their star back. There's Noli Nose in the house. What up, Noli? Oh. I just
Calgary.
I wonder if what are we getting for the total again? A 6, even money under. I guess this is just a stay off spot for me. Johnny K has the balls to move on Flames money line. Brady says, I know this about Sutter. He's not concerned about getting his goalie rest, especially if they're struggling. Yeah. And also Birdie, who is a great hockey coach in Kingston, knows the sport inside out, says, I guess what we're seeing in Calgary is a total lack of toughness. Kachuk is proving to be far more valuable than they thought, or maybe they thought it, but losing him has changed that dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah, and they didn't even, in the series against Dallas, he looked okay. But going back to Markstrom here, he just doesn't look right, Jay. He's led 3 against Edmonton, 3 against Nashville, 4 against the Devils, 4 against the Islanders, 3 against the Devils. So he's not looking good at all. I don't know. I don't see why you don't go to Vladar at this point. And also those injuries, like without Huberdeau and Tanev, especially Tanev, in my opinion, he's like the leader back there. Without those 2 guys, that's not good. That's not good. I think this is one of the next to Vegas and Boston. Those are probably the 2 best teams in the NHL right now. So, I'm going to trust.
And the Devils.
The Devils. See how long that lasts. Vanacek, Blackwood's out now. So, but anyway, I like moneyline Boston, Jimmy. I'm going to trust them here.
Top shelf. I was thinking of you when the Brooklyn Nets stomped all over the Knicks' face. Off the top, I was thinking about you. That was a great work. Great work. Okay, this will be a part of a money line parlay for Gogster. Nothing here for me. I would love to be able to take the Flames here. I think the Flames will play their best hockey tonight.
I think,
with Sutter as their coach, I think they'll play their very best hockey. And Vladar is being confirmed. We have Vladar confirmed.
Yeah. This is an under then, Jim. I think this could very well be an under. It's tough. Without Tanev though at the back end. I don't know. Either way, I think team total under on Calgary looks pretty good, and the money line on Boston. I don't see this getting to a high scoring game.
Well, let us know if you want to add this to your card. Let's keep rolling. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, Vegas Golden Knights, 12-2-0, 7-1-0 on the road. Buffalo Sabres, 7-6-0, 4-3-0 at home. KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. I was surprised at how cheap it was to get in on the Golden Knights, and I thought just talk it out with the group. Decide if you want to move on it. This is the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. Knights, every coach will be hammering home. We have a chance to sweep this road trip. Come home after with a sweep. It's a big deal. It's not like, we've won the first 4 games. We don't need to care that much about this one. Logan Thompson, 7-2-0, 2.12 goals against average, .930 save percentage, 2 shutouts. Craig Anderson. It always says Craig Anderson, so it's probably not Craig Anderson because I do this all the night before. Is it Comrie? Is Comrie?
I think it's Comrie. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll stop doing that. I keep doing that every night. Okay, let's go. Before we break all that down, let's go quickly into the line history of this spot here. Buffalo, Vegas. We have Vegas opening up at -149. They're sitting at -161. We have an 11-cent move towards them, small one. From a total perspective, it opened up at 6.5, slightly juiced to the under. It's still right there. Let's take a look at the cash flow then for this. We have 1,765 tickets in, and 26% of the tickets, 67% of the cash is on Buffalo. So here we go. Second game we've talked about, second dog getting the big bets, and I get it. 42% of the tickets and 85% of cash on the under. Vegas power play at 22.7%, penalty killing 78.1. Buffalo power play at 24, penalty killing at 75.6. Knights come in off their 8th straight win, 4-3 in overtime at Toronto. That had to feel good for that group. They are looking to finish off the sweep, as I said. Here's another team that's so deep at forward. Not as deep as the Bruins. I don't think there's a team in the league as deep as the Bruins. And I was thinking that they were going to start slow and no McAvoy and Marchand. I was so wrong. Yeah. Eichel, 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points, plus 10. Riley Smith, Wild Bill. Then you got Chandler Stevenson, Jonathan Marchessault. And don't look now, but Shea Theodore is a Norris Trophy finalist and a spectacular monster on the blue line. 3 goals, 7 assists, 10 points. He's a plus 12. He's playing 21.09 a game. They're a healthy group right now. Buffalo comes in off their 3rd straight loss, 4-1 at home versus Arizona. They've been outscored 14-7 over that span. They're an angry group. Granado's not going to let this shit fly. Rasmus Dahlin is playing 26 minutes and 2 seconds a game. We already saw him miss a game just within the week. It's tough. It's tough. You're asking him to do human work. 12 games played. He's got 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points, and plus 8. The favorite to win the Norris. Tage Thompson, I have him in the hockey pool. He makes me very proud. He got the contract and he's stepping up. You see him get the contract and stepping up. You see players around the league, young players around the league, not doing that. And we'll talk about a few of them today on the show. But Tage Thompson, 8 goals, 8 assists, 16 points. I fucking love the kid. Take it away. I'm going to get a Thompson jersey. I'm going to get a Tage Thompson jersey.
Tage, 6'7"?
I think he's awesome. Golden Knights, Sabres, take it away, Gogster.
Yeah, I'm just looking into Yoki Haru there, seeing if he's coming back. But I don't think he's going to be back. So looking at Buffalo there, God, they cost me against Arizona there. Arizona's been a sneaky team this year. But looking at Buffalo here, Jim, I'm kind of leaning towards – this is a tough one. I do think Buffalo is going to come out guns a-blazing after that loss against Arizona. I watched that game. The Zamboni had a malfunction on the ice in the 3rd period. So there was like a 35-minute delay before the start of the 3rd. And they were down 2-1, and they had a little bad puck luck, but they just didn't come out very strong. So I think Buffalo, Jim, at first period, both of these teams are heavy team total overs, 10-3 on the season for Buffalo, 8-6 for Vegas. And now the one thing I'm kind of going against too with Vegas, Jimmy, is they are 8-1-5. They've only lost once in the first period this year, but I think this long road trip here, playing Ottawa 5-4, that was a battle. Playing Montreal 6-4, that tough comeback win against Toronto 4-3, all to the over. They've expended, I think, a lot of energy. I don't know, Jim. I think early Buffalo, I'm going to trust them here. First period bounce back. Full game, it's tough just because of how good Vegas is, guys. They're deep. They're a much bigger, stronger team than Buffalo, too. Buffalo's a smaller, younger team. You got guys like JJ Pitara up here, Jim. A lot of guys I watch here in Belleville. Peyton Krebs. Who else? Even Olofsson. Oh, not Olofsson, sorry. Middlestat. He's a bigger guy. Dylan Cousins. Their first line's decent. Is a bigger first line, and Jeff Skinner, Tage Thompson. But Long story short, guys, I'm going to take Buffalo first period here and trust a bounce back spot.
Let me ask you this, Gogster, because I almost
played Vegas.
In the beginning of it, I was like, in the beginning of your breakdown, I was like, yes, I think I'm going to bet this too. And then I started thinking, you have Vegas that can win one more game. I'm not going to bet Vegas at this price. Yeah. So let me just start that. It's just something. At first, I thought it was cheap. Then I see all the sharp money on Buffalo, and I'm not going to be sitting here with Buffalo. But who wants this more? And I think it's just from this angle, not overall, but just from this angle. Obviously, Buffalo losing badly to Arizona is a real stimulant for this hockey team to step up here, especially early. But these Golden Knights have their leading scorer, Jack Eichel.
The return to Buffalo.
Yeah. And how badly are they going to want to make this? No, I still like your first period. That's the only bet I would make. But here they can come in, sweep the road trip, win a game for their leading scorer, who's playing against this in the city that drafted him second overall.
I think just as much Buffalo love to get up against. They all know about the Eichel and what he did to Buffalo and how bad that what happened there. So I think Buffalo, the whole between the city and the team, I think this is like a. I think the whole team, to be honest, this is just my own angle, Jim. I think they want to stick to Eichel just as much Eichel wants to beat Buffalo here. I got one question for you, Jimmy. What do you like better here? First period, both teams to score, or Buffalo first period money?
I like Buffalo first period better than both teams to score. I mean, after what happened in Arizona, you're coming in. All of a sudden, the Sabres team is 7-6-0. Now their record is not very good. And
losing.
So
last 3 games.
So I would I do kind of like the Sabres first period, and I think I may bet it. It just depends. You know what? I may bet this. I need to see how much action. I think it's a really good angle.
I think that's the spot, because I agree with you. I think 60 minutes, Vegas, they can get it done. I think they can get it done. They've proven they can get it done. Where Buffalo, those 3 losses, first period's the angle you want to jump on. This is the 4th game of a long road trip too for. Fifth game, Jimmy. So it's been, and Thompson started, I think, all of those games, has he not? So, no, he didn't start against Montreal here. I'm seeing.
And Birdie says that could explain why the Sabres are so bad versus Arizona. They had this game circled. I don't know what he says. He doesn't know what to do here. It's a tough one, but we got to move on. Gogster, we got 10 games, so we got to move on. You want to lock in Sabres first period?
First period plus 120. Give it to me, Jim.
Plus 120 for Mr. Gogster. All right, let's roll on. Slatsy saying Bobano is saying the attendance in Buffalo is being embarrassingly small. It's been bad. It's too bad. It sucks. I mean, God, I want to go down
full tonight. It's got to be a full house with Eichel return. You got a top team. Come on, guys. And that game against Arizona. No offense to any Arizona fans, Clint. You might not sell out the building with Arizona.
Yeah, against them, sure. Let's just quickly, I want to see when's their next home game? I'd like to go.
Buffalo.
Oh shit, my Ella doesn't have a goddamn passport right now. Fuck. Okay, I can't go down. But against Arizona, they had 10,296 people.
Cheap tickets.
54%. Let's see what they had against the Penguins. Let's see what they had against the Penguins here. I know I just said we have to speed up, but I want to know too. 12,201 tickets, 64%. That's awful. That's fucking awful.
Well, Jim, they play your Canucks on the 15th here.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to head down to Niagara Falls after the show tomorrow, so I could.
Oh, they play Boston the 12th.
Saturday night? Well, I can't do it though. Ella doesn't have a passport. Okay. All right, let's move past it. Gogster's on the Sabres first period, and I am interested in that. But I'm going to go down January, February, March, and we maybe do a little meetup down there.
Maybe I'm game.
Get my Tage jersey. Let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern. Edmonton Oilers 8-6-0, 4-1-0 on the road at Carolina Hurricanes 8-4-1, 3-2-0 at home at PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. I think I'm getting closer and closer to moving with you on that bet. Jack Campbell, 6-3-0, 3.93 goals against average, 884 save percentage has not been good. Peter Kochetkov, second-round draft pick in the 2019 draft. He's going to be the goalie. He's expected to be the guy for this team, but he's not quite there yet. We saw him last year with the Chicago Wolves. He's played – we'll talk about what he's done this year, but last year he was just – spectacular. 13-1-1, 2.09 goals against average, 921 save percentage. Then with the Hurricanes, he wins all 3 of his starts. 2.42 goals against average, 902 save percentage. This year with the Wolves, they're not as good. 2-2-1, 3 goals against average, 9-11 save percentage. Edmonton power play 32.7%, penalty killing at 70.5%. Carolina power play at 18%, penalty killing 77.6%. We do know there's a couple huge and very important things here. Obviously, the Kane injury and the fact that Carolina lost last night, second half of a back-to-back. But let's just go quickly into the line history here in this spot, and then I'll just set a quick table, and we'll hand it off to Mr. Gogster here. First off, line history, this opened up. It's not moved. Carolina opened up -140, now -136. Not moved. From a total perspective, it hasn't moved either. It opened up -121 to the over. This line just came out actually like an hour and a little bit ago at Pinnacle, so that's the reason for that. They have given the Oilers half line value here. 2,269 tickets in, 81% of tickets, 99% of cash on the Oilers. 70% of tickets, 80% of cash on the over. So Oilers snapped their 3-game losing streak with a 3-2 win at Tampa on Tuesday night. The game was overshadowed by the Evander Kane injury. He took a skate blade to the wrist. There was a lot of blood. I'm not going to watch it. He's being put on LITR. He's going to be out 3 to 4 months. And you guys, know how this works. This is a huge advantage now for the Oilers.
That's a
huge advantage. They're going to have $5-6 million extra cash. They're going to get Kane back in March at the latest.
Yeah. I just think back to I remember Mikheyev had that a couple years ago with Toronto, and he was out for a while.
But now you have all this extra cash, and Kane's coming back. And I was always telling you guys this trade deadline is going to be a monster for the Oilers. Now it's going to be an even bigger monster here, even bigger. So Connor McDavid, 14 goals, 15 assists, 29 points in 14 games. When are we going to start talking about it? 92?
What? Oh, 92 what?
92 goals Gretzky scored in 81-82. 87 goals he scored in 83-84. 86 goals Hull scored in 90-91. Lemieux scored 85 in 88-89. I don't see why we're going to start talking about it soon, because McDavid can easily average a goal a game. He can easily go 50-50. Draisaitl, 9 goals, 17 assists, 26 points. He's playing great. But look at Nuge, old toddler shoulders. Nuge, 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points. He's looking good, man. Shout out to Burnaby Winter Club and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Zach Hyman, 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. Hurricanes on the second half back-to-back. They lost 3-0 last night in Florida. They've been outscored 6-1 in their last 2 games. Nechas, Aho, Svechnikov are playing very well. What's wrong? They're getting nothing from anybody else. No depth scoring. Tuevo Teravainen, 0 goals. Paul Stastny, 0 goals. These guys have 0 goals in 25 games combined, 9 assists combined. Not enough depth scoring. They need Patches back, and he's not coming back anytime soon. Take it away for us, Gogster. Oilers, Hurricanes.
Yeah, Kochekov here. I think that's his name there. Kochekov. That's what I know. It comes off the tongue nice. They won the Calder Cup last year too, Jimmy, with this team. They defeated Springfield. So this is his first start. Like you said, hasn't looked as good with Chicago. Had a bit of a slow start after winning the Calder Cup. Campbell going 2. He had a bounce back, which we were talking about, me and Peter, on Tuesday's show. So Campbell, before that, though, Jim, he looked pretty bad. 30-36 against Dallas, 19-23 against Nashville. I got nothing on this game, to be honest. The back-to-back angle, I completely agree with everyone in the chat. Going from Tampa Bay, from Florida to back to Carolina, I really don't know what to do with this game, Jimmy. Both penalty kills are below, are subpar, below 75% in the last 10 games. 30% power play for Edmonton, too. I lean to the overs. Maybe both teams to score first period could be a look here, Jim. I'm not going to play it, but that's where I would look. And I don't know how many games Kochekov is going to be playing. This could be like his 1 game, and then Anderson comes back, because I don't think it's long term for Anderson. And I'm just looking at Billy here. Kochekov. Oh, Kochekov. Okay, Kochetkov. Oh, Kochetkov. Oh, there you go, Kochetkov. Okay. Anyways, I got nothing on this game here. Mike M's got Oilers. Kane out, Anderson's questionable. Jim, I really got nothing on this game, brother. I don't know where to.
I'm shocked to see all this money on the Oilers. I am. We know what Rod the Bod Brindamore is going to do to this hockey team after their 3-0 shutout. He's going to be hammering into them. He's the toughest guy on the team. So I think Carolina bounces back here, and seeing all this money on Edmonton makes me want to fade Edmonton.
And beat
and
writer 2 here, Jim. Rob Bittermore sums up loss. Too many guys weren't a factor. So I think that's pretty much calling out the team. Too many guys weren't a factor. So,
I don't want Carolina as a favorite. I don't want to pay a cent of vig. But I do like the under. The problem is, there's no problem. Carolina can't score. And they're going to play tough defensively. I don't know how. I didn't know how it was a 6.5 last night, and I only took the team total under on the Panthers. That was a mistake. I don't know how it's a 6.5 here. So I'm going to take the under 6.5 at plus money here.
Savvy. That's savvy.
I don't know. It might blow up my face. All the money's coming in on the over. I just don't get it. I don't understand. This is a team that it does not put themselves in the penalty box too often. I'm going to get plus money on the under 6.5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't fade the Hurricanes because I have too much respect for Brind'Amour, but you can't take the Hurricanes at a minus price against the Oilers here on the second half of a back-to-back. So the only thing I can do is trust the defense, and that's a scary thing to do. And I can't trust Kochetkov. Is that right?
Kochetkov. There we go. That's it.
I can't trust Kochetkov. So that's my plan is the under 6.5 at plus money. Birdie backing it. Okay.
What about this real quickly, Jim? I'm going to look at it now. What about a Edmonton Oilers team total under 3?
I imagine that would be at a big plus money price. Let me just see what it is. But the fact is the Hurricanes have no depth scoring. So if that first line isn't scoring, what's happening? They're just not scoring. But I'd be curious to see what that would be.
I got minus 127 on Oilers. I at Bet Rivers here under 3, minus 127.
It's crazy. It's crazy that the Oilers. Yeah, I guess they're a slight dog. It's not enough for me. Yeah, it's not enough for me. If they won this game 3-2, you'd push on the Oilers team total, but you would cash the under 6.5. And that was the mistake I made last night. And maybe it's the right move here because the Oilers have some porous defense and Campbell's not saving anything. But I just don't trust the Canes to score. But Billy Friedrich, he's the guy we need to hear from. And he says a bunch of things here. He says overreaction with Kochetkov and net. That's why money coming in on the over. He says I like the bet on the under. Birdie says leaning under. Billy says if Canes stay out of the penalty box, Kochetkov can hold his own. Canes have no scoring at all. The power play's awful too. Not sure why Pesci's on the power play instead of Brady Shea. Okay, Johnny K says Oilers going to crush.
The under makes sense. I think we found it there, guys. I like that, Jim.
Did you want to come in?
Okay. I'm gonna hold off. It's like the Buffalo
let's keep rolling.
First period money line.
Oh, sorry, you did move on the first period?
No, it's like I was saying it's like the Buffalo first period money line with you there. How we're both kind of on the fence.
All right, let's speed it up because after this we have NFL, then we have NCAA football, 28-14, 66.7% on the year. I go 2-1 and plus a unit, my ROI and winning percentage doesn't change. That's how you know you're winning. And then we have NBA, which I've been struggling at. So, and all the records will be up there for whatever. Okay, let's move on. Philadelphia Flyers and Columbus Blue Jackets. Flyers 7-3-2, 3-2-1 on the road. Look at that record. God, Torts, you son of a bitch. Columbus Blue Jackets 3-9-0, 2-5-0 at home. And he would hate me saying that because he's a dog lover. Nationwide Arena in Columbus, Ohio. Carter Hart versus Elvis Merzlikins is what I have. Let me know if that's changed. Carter Hart 6-0-2, 1.97.
Korpisalo.
It is Korpisalo. Okay, 946 save percentage. Can you give us a breakdown of Korpisalo when I hand it over to you? Yeah. Philly power play at 19.5%, penalty killing at 82.9%. Columbus 6.1% power play, 79% penalty killing. We'll start with the line history here. In this one, I don't know how the Flyers are doing it. I don't know how Arizona is doing it. What I do know, at least, is there's no value fading any of these clubs, but maybe. And then you have Columbus coming back from Finland. Columbus opening up at minus 126. They're down to minus 112. This got down to minus 103. So there has been some late buyback. Wow, this is nuts. This total at 6.5 dropped to 6. There's been games when I've had the under. In a Columbus Blue Jacket game. I remember the Predators Blue Jackets. I have the under 6.5 because neither team can score in the power play, and they score 8 even strength goals, and I lose the under. Let's take a look at where the cash lies in this one. We have 1,866 tickets in, 11% of the tickets, 20% of the cash on Columbus.
Okay.
82% of the tickets, 90% of the cash on the under, and that's being respected. Lee Davis says Jonas is bad. Robert Franklin looking at Flyers in regulation. Billy Friedrich says Oilers may be worth the futures look for the Cub. Oh, they will be, but I would let it wait a little bit because they're not, they're going to lose some toughness and some secondary scoring with Kane out, and maybe they struggle for a little bit. I would let it kind of. But I'll be keeping an eye on it because I don't have that much. I only have one unit on them for the division, for the conference, and for the cup. So I'd be interested in coming back in at some point. So I'll keep an eye on it, and then we can compare what I got it at. So I think we can pause there. Flyers coming off their second straight win, 5-1 at home over the Blues. I don't know how they're doing it. Konechny and Hayes have been very good. D'Angelo and Provorov are playing well together. So clearly those four guys are playing very, very well. Couturier, Van Riemsdyk, Bobby Brink, all out long-term. Cam Atkinson and Patrick Brown back soon, maybe this week. Blue Jackets coming off their fifth straight loss, 5-1 to the Avalanche in Finland. Johnny Hockey, 5 goals, 4 assists, 9 points in 12 games, all at even strength. So he's been a part of 9 goals in even strength, and he's a -5. Boone Jenner's been so disappointing. What a chance to be on the top line with Johnny Hockey. Patrick Laine's not looked good in his return. Sean Corrali and Jacob Voracek are hurt. Take it away here for us, Gogster, Flyers, Blue Jackets.
All right, Flyers, Blue Jackets, Jim. Carter Hart, Corpus Salo. Yeah, Corpus Salo's he's ass. He's the back of you know what. He's had one start, 40 of 45. It was against Colorado, but long term, I don't trust him. With that being said, though, Jimmy, everyone, their team knows Corpus Salo. He's the weaker of the two. They're gonna have to play better behind Corpus Salo. Philadelphia too. I think they've overperformed their team total overs right now. They've scored a lot more than what we've expected. 8-4 to the team total over on the season. Columbus, they're coming off that trip to Europe there. What was it, Germany, Jim? So what I'm going to lean to here, guys, I'm actually going to play this. I'm going to do a no goal in the first 10 minutes, Jim. You could think it'd be a little risky with Corpus Salo, but early here, I think with Hart and net, defensively, Philadelphia has been absolutely fine. I definitely don't want Columbus money line. They've proven they haven't been able to close out wins. And with Corpus Salo, he could allow, come second period, he could allow 3 goals at some point. So the side I'm completely off. If anything, I would lean towards maybe Philadelphia here. Carter Hart's been unbelievable. 33 of 34 against Ottawa, 35 of 36 against the Rangers, 34-38 against Carolina. Better hockey team, but I'm going to go with no goal first 10 minutes here, Jim. I think it's going to be Columbus is. I think they come off those 2 losses. They lost twice, I believe, right? Against Colorado. So power play is not humming. I'm going to go with the no goal first 10 minutes here.
No goal first 10. What did you get for that?
Plus 135. What do you guys think of that in chat?
No goal first 10.
What do you think, Jim?
I have no idea what Corpus Salo is going to give you. I know that the Blue Jackets hate Tortorella. That Tortorella wears out his welcome. So I think that it's not the angle the Flyers are going to fight for Tortorella against his old team. It's the angle that the Columbus Blue Jackets despise this man and want to beat the Flyers so badly. The question is this going to be a lot easier facing the Flyers in a small arena than facing the Avalanche in a Olympic-sized venue? And I mean the ice rink for those of you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know but just for everybody watching, the ice rink is so much.
We had one of those in Belleville. We had Olympic site. It's wider. It's extremely wide, so you have a lot more just room to move the puck. A lot wider at Olympic ice.
Birdie says I would worry off that Euro trip. There's Deacon Mike in the house. In Opfa, love capping with in Opfa. Great to see you. Osby says Jackets have it over almost every game. I wouldn't do the no goal on this game. He's saying I don't know. I don't know what. Look, there's no value fading the Flyers, and I do not know what Corpus Salo is going to give you. I don't know how the Flyers are doing it. I know the Columbus Blue Jackets despise the coach on the opposite team.
That's facts.
I don't know if Johnny Gaudreau cares about hockey. I don't mean anything negative, but I don't know if he really cares. I mean, he could have put himself in a situation for the rest of his career where he had a chance to hold Stanley Cups over his head. Doesn't seem to give a fuck about that. So with all that being said, I'm just off this game. I'm off.
And Philadelphia has allowed 1 goal against St. Louis, 1 against Ottawa, 5 against Toronto, 1 against the Rangers. The last 4 games, for the most part, they've been solid defensively too, Jim.
Carter Hart's finalist for the Vezina, wins the Vezina if the season ended right now. But we got to move on. We got so much work to do. So you were on first period, no goal.
No goal first 10 minutes, guys, plus 135. Tight early affair.
There are a bunch of players, Birdie, from when Torts was there. A bunch of players.
Yeah, no, they're still like they're still a good handful.
And the key players, on the team other than Johnny Hockey and Line A. Okay, let's move on. 7 p.m. Eastern, New York Rangers 6-5-3, 3-2-0 on the road at Detroit Red Wings 7-3-3, 5-1-2 at home. I'm surprised. I have some sort of a bias from watching Red Wings games where they've struggled. Their record's pretty good. They'd be in the playoffs if the season ended right now. Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Igor Shesterkin, 6-2-2, 2.58 goals against average, 910 save percentage. Do we know who's going to be in net for the Red Wings?
I expect Husso to be in net, Jim.
I do too. Rangers 24.5% power play, 78.6% penalty killing. Detroit 17.7% power play, 82.5% penalty killing. We have to speed this up, Gogster. We got to get in the NFL here pretty soon. So let's try and get these in 15 minutes. If we go a little longer, that's all good. Here we go. Line history wise, and it's my fault. I'm really excited about this big card and I wanted to talk about it a lot. Here we go. Line history. The Rangers opened up minus 153. Now they're minus 154. No movement there. From a total standpoint, it opened up at 6, juice to the under. And there's been no movement there either. Let's take a look at the cash flow and see if that all makes sense here, that there's been no movement. You have 20% of the tickets on Detroit and 51% of the cash. You see a lot of money coming in on the dogs today. 55% of tickets, 76% of cash on the under. Rangers coming up their third straight loss, 4-3 at home versus the Islanders on Tuesday night, where they had a nice lead and they let it all fall apart. Why is that happening? Panarin, 5 goals, 14 assists, 19 points, having a good season, right? He's -8. Yeah. This guy is -8 in 14 games. If he keeps this up, he's a -65 this year. Zibanejad, he's much more accountable defensively than Panarin. He's 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points, -2. Vincent Trocheck, another guy who's, accountable defensively. He's still a minus player at -3. The only guy of the big scorers is Chris Kreider. He's a +1, but Chris Kreider has 5 goals in 14 games, after breaking 50 last year. Mm-hmm. They're not getting any secondary scoring. Kakko and Lafreniere, there was a ton more expected of him. Now, maybe that will change with Philip Hedl back, but Philip Hedl's been back for 2 games, and it hasn't changed. Red Wings coming off a 3-2 shootout loss at home to Montreal on Tuesday. Another team not getting secondary scoring. Dominique Kubalik has been excellent, unbelievably good. 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. Dylan Larkin leading by example, 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points. No one else has more than 8 points. They need more from Lucas Raymond. They missed Tyler Bertuzzi. He should be back next week. Take it away for us, Gogster. Rangers, Red Wings.
All right. This is a Rangers spot. I know I said it last time on the show here, guys, but I really think the Rangers just completely smash Detroit here, even puck line. I'm going to take it 3-way regulation -105. That loss against Montreal, Larkin there had a chance in the shootout, just completely flubbed it was an awful play, Jim, how he missed the net. In that game, though, they beat the Rangers 3-2, 3-0 against the Islanders. Offensively, I don't know about this team, Jim. I really don't. I've been watching some of their highlights, some of their games, and I don't trust Detroit still. I really don't. And if they have Nedeljkovic Djokovic going in net, then I think Rangers team total over, it's going to get ugly quick. Husso could keep
Husso confirmed.
Husso's going to keep him in this game. Lean to the under then. But I really think this Rangers team, Jim, they're getting Hedl and even Krasvidov. I could be butchering his name. He's back in the lineup too. I don't know how many games he's been back, but he was hurt for a bit. This team's just too good to not bounce back here. You got an original 6 matchup too. They've lost their last 3 games. And they lost against Detroit 3-2 when they were up 2-0 in that game not too long ago. They're not going to lose another one here, Jim. I have a really hard time seeing it. I think they're going to smash them like 5-2, like 4-2. I really think even with Husso and net, I think this is a Ranger spot. And I know I said it last time against the Islanders, and I could not believe the Islanders came back on the Rangers like that. So, but the Islanders are much. I think Islanders are a much more well-rounded team than the Detroit Red Wings. So,
well, let's keep rolling. We got to speed it up. You have Rangers in regulation -105.
I got that locked in, baby.
All right. These dogs. I find more appealing than not. And so the Rangers they're not getting secondary scoring. They're not tough. So I don't want them on the road as a big favorite at all.
I expect them to skate circles around Detroit tonight. I do.
Oh no, I'm laughing at my man Birdie. Birdie, I got sleep last night too. We're good. We're good, my man.
I didn't, Birdie. You're right.
It's a tough time for cappers right now. We're putting in a ton of work. 7 p.m. Eastern, Ottawa Senators 4-8-0, 4-0 on the road. Not a win on the road. Shout out to Dennis Garcia. And I didn't follow through with it. I can't believe I didn't follow through with it. I feel like such an idiot. But Dennis is on the season win total under for the Senators. Now, obviously, things changed horrifically for them when Josh Norris went down. But and he's not gone for the year. He'll be back in February. But man, you fade teams that make major moves that have all the hype, and that's what Dennis Garcia did. Devils 10-3-0, 5-2 in the home Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. How about Lindy Ruff? What a hell of a job. On Tom Forsberg versus Vitek Vanacek. You're going to see a lot of Vitek Vanacek. Blackwood out long term. Vanacek 6-1, 2.18 goals against average, 915 save percentage. Forsberg is not taking the ball around with it. He's not playing very well. Nice. Ottawa power play at 20.9%, penalty killing 78.7%. New Jersey power play at 20%, penalty killing at 83.3%. Let's move into the line history here for Ottawa, New Jersey. We have New Jersey opening up a -160 to now -190. Wow. 30-cent move towards the Devils. Wow. This 6.5 has come down a little bit, -118 to the over. It's now -111. Looks like the Devils' smack job is what everybody's expecting, but, and there's a big but, again, money line bets are coming in on the dog, not the favorite. And I guess you can imagine that. I mean, if you're going to take these favorites, you'd probably, unless you're making, multi-$1,000 bets, you'd probably take them on the -1 line. Even then, you probably do. 19% of the tickets, 64% of cash on Ottawa. 86% of the tickets, 86% of cash on the over, and it's coming back down. Senators coming off their 6th straight loss, 6-4 at home to the Canucks. With Josh Norris out, Brady Tkachuk is being very good. 6 goals, 10 assists, 16 points. He's a -5. Drake Batherson has to step up defensively. I mean, here's another guy who's going to be a -65 this year if he doesn't change his ways. 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. So Tim Stützle is coming together. He's the real deal. The Devils are rolling. They just swept the Flames in the home, 7 straight wins. And look, 6th round pick, 162nd overall in the 2016 draft. Jesper Bratt is elite. Last year, led the team 26 goals, 47 assists, 73 points. He's proved that's no fluke. 5 goals, 13 assists, 18 points in 13 games played. He's a +8. Nico Hischier, 6 goals, 8 assists, +9. I love what he does defensively. It surprises me. Jack Hughes, still a plus player, and that's all you can really ask for from a guy who's going to do all the work on the power play. And watch out. Look at this defense. Ryan Graves. Keep an eye out on Ryan Graves. He's playing so well. Flat out until January. Take it away for us, Gogster, Senators, Devils.
Well, I've been saying the whole time, guys, they don't have defense for Ottawa. That's why they can't win these games. They're allowing 6 against Vancouver, 5 against Vegas, 4 against Tampa, 5 against Florida, 4 against Minnesota. They don't have the defense right now. They're trying out Jake Sanderson, Jacob Bernard. Docker got called up from Belleville here, so he's up on the first line, I think, with Thomas Chabot. Guy's awful. With that being said, Ottawa can score, Jim. I do still trust them scoring. Vanacek, he has looked good, but I don't know. I'm still up in the air with Vanacek. Defensively, this team, they don't allow very high danger chances is what I would get to, Jim. With Dougie Hamilton, you said it with Graves, even with Ty Smith. This is a really good, just all around, kind of like a Boston Bruins defense in the Devils. But Forsberg going, I'm trying to see if it's Forsberg or Talbot. I'm imagining it's Forsberg. I don't know why you got Talbot there. I don't know why you don't go Talbot this game, but I have circled here Ottawa team total over 2.5, Jim. This team, though, I'm telling you, like they're pissed off. Like every single game they're losing, Giroux looks like he's getting closer and closer to retirement. Like
he leads the team in goals.
I know, but like you want to know how like pissed, like he's been playing well, but like every time they're losing, or they always show Giroux at the end of a game, like, and the guy, it looks like he's ready to kill, not kill someone, but like he's just depleted. Like he can't believe, like he's doing all he can, like you're saying, he's scoring, but they're still losing. So this Ottawa team, nothing but overs again is what I could say, to be honest, Jim, until they can really, 2-1 against Philly, they lost. Other than that, they've been allowing too many goals. So I'm going to stay off it. More I'm talking about it, I don't know. Team total over 2.5 on Ottawa is -145. So, and J.K. staying. They got a top 10 D. Ottawa, I think their offense is on the cusp of top 10. So I'm going to stay off it. I have a lean towards Ottawa team total over 2.5, but it's juiced to like minus 140.
Mike M rested non-conference dogs versus rest non-division opponent, 21-5. 4 teams fit that model. Ottawa, Detroit. Well, you have Ottawa twice. Ottawa, Detroit, Chicago, and another team. I think that maybe it's time, and this is my, again, mistake for not figuring this out earlier and just, trying to balance too many sports, but it's time to put our foot on the throat of the Senators. I think it's time to do that. And
fade them, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I think it is. I think, this is ridiculous for me to even make this bet.
Minus
because,
1?
Well, I would only bet minus 1, but already it's moved. Let's just I know we're taking too long here, and I just want to see how far it's moved at bet 365. Again, I've just done a shitty job of getting in on these bets earlier. Here we go. It's the money line has gone from minus 170 to minus 200.
I know you guys say you can't bet Ottawa, but I don't know. I feel, and also with the coach right now, I know DJ Smith. I don't think he's going to be fired or anything, but he's definitely on the hot seat here. I just know Ottawa's they're very desperate. That's the only thing. But again, New Jersey's, look what they've done. They've beaten Calgary. They've beaten Edmonton. They're beating good hockey teams. So
they're playing a very good hockey.
Very good.
0-4 now. The Senators on the road. They look terrible against Canucks. Look at that Canucks team. Look what happened to Montreal. Okay, it's stupid that I got in late. But I'm not going to leave money on the table, and I'm also going to put my foot on the throat of the Ottawa Senators. And maybe there should be a team total over. Maybe it should be team total over as well for the Senators. I mean, the Devils. This team is just easy to play against. Other than Brady Tkachuk, their defense is not tough enough. You're asking Shabbat to do too much. What's he do when you ask him to do too much? He Shabbat's the bed. Let's move on. Next up for us, Arizona Coyotes at New York Islanders. Coyotes 5-6-1, 4-4-0 on the road. Islanders 9-5-0, 5-2-0 at home at UBS Arena, Elmont, New York. Karel Vejmelka, we talked about how good he looked last year, and his numbers didn't really show it. And his numbers still, you look at 3.41 goals against average, but a 908 save percentage, he's playing well. Going up against Ilya Sorokin, who's just an elite top-level goaltender without a doubt. 6-3-0, 2.20 goals against average, 933 save percentage, 1 shutout. Arizona, 29.3% power play, 80.4% penalty killing. Look at that fucking power play. It's hitting at 30%, man.
Shout out to Clint here. How about them Yotes?
Oh, God, yeah. No, you've every right. And look, they've been on the road for 8 of their 12 games. This will be the 9th of 13. So let's just go into the line history very quickly here. You can't fade the Coyotes. You can only bet on the Coyotes. And I want to bet on the Islanders every chance I get, but can't do it here. You can't take it at this line. Arizona opening up plus 239. They're now plus 242. From a total perspective, it opened up juice to the over. It's now juice to the under. And that makes sense to me. Let's just see a cash flow. And I'm sure it's going to be all the big bets are coming in on Arizona money line. And look at this. Look at this. This is so funny. 14% of the tickets on Arizona money line, 98% of cash, because you'd have to bet New York on the spread. On the spread, the Islanders have 96% of cash. So it's simple. Them total-wise, which is really the only thing we should look at with money, but 61% of tickets, 54% of cash on the over. So there are big bets coming in on the under. Arizona is not going to be able to score easily on the power play against this penalty killing unit. Coyotes coming off their second straight impressive road win, 4-1 at Buffalo on Tuesday. That came on the heels of a 3-2 win at Washington. Clayton Keller, 4 goals, 9 assists, 13 points, but he's a -7. The Ghost, Shane Gogster, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points, -9. Nick Schmaltz is out long term. We should be getting the season debut of Jacob Chikrin any minute, and they're getting Zach Kassian back this week. Isles are playing good hockey. They're coming off an impressive 4-3 comeback victory at MSG over the Rangers on Tuesday night. Matthew Barzal, 15 points in 14 games, no goals. Hasn't scored yet, +3. He's got no goals, and this Islanders team is playing well. They have Brock Nelson also at center, 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points, +3. When you have Barzal and Nelson as your two centers playing 35 minutes a game, you're in business. So much strength up the middle. Anders Lee's having a bounce-back season. This guy's an absolute monster. 6'3", 235-pound goal scorer, captain out of Harvard. I mean, the guy's incredible. 8 goals, 6 assists, 14 points. He had that terrible injury. It took him a while to bounce back. Had a bad year last year. And I keep saying Noah Dobson. I keep screaming Noah Dobson every time I get on the roof of my house and I scream Noah Dobson. He's fucking awesome. He's going to be such a huge defenseman. Now he's playing 20 minutes a game. 2018 first-round pick, 4 goals, 6 assists, 10 points. Guy's a fucking beast. Take it away, Gogster. Coyotes, Islanders, we got to be quick.
Well, I don't know what else I could say. You broke that down really well. Yeah, the Islanders have won a lot of. They've won what 2, 4, 6, 7 of the last 8. I got nothing on this game, short and sweet. They're doing this with Chychrun too. Their top defenseman, which is highly surprising to be honest. Like I really don't know how they're doing it. Both teams' power plays are over 20%. I got nothing on the game, Jim. Yeah, I got nothing. I got burned taking Buffalo on Tuesday, so in a money line parlay. So I got nothing on this one.
I wonder if these under is live here.
Yeah, I had no goal first 10 minutes written down, but I just don't know if the Islanders get a quick one here or what their game plan is. But I don't mind the under. I'm not on the over. That's for sure.
Okay, I think that the under is probably live here. If the Coyotes can't score on the power play and they're playing good hockey, it's a risky one.
I was going to say, no, Coyotes can score on the power play. They got a 27%.
Oh, yeah. No, they're spectacular. It's just against the Islanders penalty killing unit.
Yeah.
If you look at the penalty killing units, they're terrible across the whole league, not the Islanders. Islanders penalty killing 87%. They're really strong.
I have the same for Arizona here, Jim. I do last 10 games. Arizona, I have 83%. I got Islanders 80%. So they're both up there for when it comes to penalty killing.
I think I'm going to. I'm interested in the under. I just can't quite decide right now, and I won't yet. But I'm interested in that under 6. Okay, let's move on. San Jose Sharks, St. Louis Blues, Enterprise Center in St. Louis, Missouri. The Sharks 3-8-3, 2-3-0 on the road. 3-8-0 are the Blues, losers of 8 straight, 1-4-0 at home. Capo Kakinen, I have him listed as starter, but maybe he's not the starter. 1-3-1, 3.6. Is he the starter?
He's the starter.
3.62 goals against average, 878 save percentage. Jordan Binnington, 3-5-0, 3.37 goals against average, 886 save percentage. One shot. I know that I harp on this too much, but even the elite in all our sports, in managing, make the mistakes of the vividness bias and the recency bias. The St. Louis Blues staff had a legitimate sample size on a full year of Binnington getting outplayed by Husso. Then at the very end of the year, Binnington plays well in a very small sample size in the playoffs. They have a recency bias with Binnington and a vividness bias of Binnington bringing them the Stanley Cup, and they picked the wrong goaltender.
Yes.
And now they have to deal with the consequences of that. And we all make those mistakes unless we make less of them if we've read The Undoing Project. But clearly, the experts in St. Louis have now fucked their hockey team up because they picked the wrong goaltender because of a bias, 2 biases at play. Let's go over the Sharks, 18.6% power play, 92.3% penalty killing. St. Louis, 20.7% power play, 70.8% penalty killing. Let's move over to the line history really quickly here. The Sharks open up at plus 155. They're now plus 140. There's been a 15-cent move towards them, a 22-cent move back from the Blues. And from a total perspective, was a pick 'em. There's a 3-cent move to the over. We go over to the cash flow in this game. 34% of the tickets, 55% of cash on the Sharks. 56% of the tickets, 67% of cash on the under here. The Sharks coming off their fourth straight loss, but the last 3 have come in a shootout. Erik Karlsson, what an enigma. I would just hate to coach this guy. Now he's the best defenseman in the NHL all of a sudden after watching him do nothing for 3 years. Why? Because Brent Burns is out and he's in all the most important situations. 10 goals, 9 assists, 14 games from a defenseman. He's Bobby Orr all of a sudden playing 24-56 a game. God, I would still open hand slap him before every game. They have a good group of center icemen: Hurdle, Couture, Nico Sturm. Blues coming off their 8th straight loss, 5-1 in Philadelphia. Their young players that were so good last year haven't come through for them. Robert Thomas signs the big contract, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. He's a -7 in 11 games. Jordan Kyrie's been atrocious. 3 goals, 1 assist. He's a -17 in 11 games played.
Jesus.
To get an idea of how bad this hockey team is, you look no further than Colton Parayko. He would be on Team Canada, and he's a -10 in 11 games because of the garbage that's being, played in front of him. Take it away here, Gogster. Sharks Blues.
Wow, both of these teams they got some problems. Not as much as St. Louis here, guys. 3-8 to the team total. Team total under. They're 3-8. Heavy under team. 2-8-1 to the first period over under. So heavy under team. One thing about San Jose going into the game tonight, Jim, they have Noah Gregor draws in for Steven Lorentz. He's a first scratch of the year. And Evgeny Svechnikov for San Jose is also a scratch. So they're changing up a couple pieces to their lineup. With that being said, I got nothing on this game, guys. I can't trust Benner. I can't trust Kakkonen, to be honest. 39 of 44 Kakkonen his last time out. I lean to the over would be my look. Maybe first period, both teams to score. When is St. Louis going to turn it around? Are they going to lose at home to San Jose too?
Look, we figured it out. We figured it out with the Penguins last night, and it was a big score. It was a really big score for me, and it completely changed my night.
Thank you.
So the question is, can we do it again? And I don't think we can. I think that the sample size is enough right now that the Blues are bad.
Well, it's not going to get any easier. They got to go on the road after this, Jimmy. This one game they play at home after being on their schedule's awful. They got to go on the road against Vegas, then they got to go on the road against Colorado. So
this is a great price for the Blues, but let's just look. I'm not, but the -1 would be plus 100 against Kakkonen and the Sharks. But I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. RVD going back to the Sharks team total over. Bo Jackson used to love the Blues power play. Now they're a shell of themselves. Okay, we are almost through NHL, and then we move on to NFL, NCAA football, and NBA. 9 p.m. Eastern, Nashville Predators 5-7-1, 3-4-0 on the road at Colorado Avalanche, 6-4-1, 2-1-1 at home. We're at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. UC Yaros 3-6-1, 3.46 goals against average, 8.92 save percentage. He's been bad. Against Georgiev, 6-1-1, 2.61 goals against average, 9.25 save percentage. He's been great. Nashville power play at 14.3%, penalty killing 83%. That Nashville power play is not doing well, and Roman Yossi's having a bad start to the season. Yeah. And we saw Roman Josi. We thought, oh my God, could there be 100 point scoring defenseman? I mean, we know that Carlson can't keep this up already, June. But Josi showed us that there could be 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points this year. He's a -11. He's a -11 in 13 games, and their power play is at 14.3%. Colorado power play at 38.2%. It's spectacular, and their penalty killing is actually improving, but they have a ton of injuries right now. This may be a spot I move on and take the team that I despise in the Predators, but maybe I'm just too late. I guess I'm too late. Huge move to the Predators. Stupid. God.
What about the first period, Jim?
No, I need to bet the Predators, I think, but we'll talk it out here. The Predators opened up at plus 184. It lasted a minute. It was plus 174. It's now at plus 156. Stupid. The total opened up at 6.5, minus 116 to the over. It's now minus 118 to the over. Let's take a look at the cash flow. I think I might stop doing it, but Nashville's being given full line value from Sports Insights. 45% of tickets, 61% of cash. Okay, so there are tickets coming in on Colorado. 62% of tickets, 76% of cash on the over. Here we go. Predators had their short-lived 2-game winning streak snapped in a 5-1 loss at the Kraken on Tuesday. Yossi's playing terrible. Philip Forsberg and Matt Duchene are playing decent. Not, we don't expect Matt Duchene to do anything defensively. He's not doing anything defensively. Philip Forsberg's -6. Michael Granlund's been a major disappointment this year. 1 goal, 9 assists. He's a -10 in 13 games. Avalanche coming off sweeping the Jackets in the Global Series in Finland. This team is so banged up. Landeskog in the Shushkin out long term. Samuel Girard and Bowen Byram are out day to day. Now, look, I know that they have Cale Makar, and he's playing 25-59 a game, and he's fucking spectacular. And I know they have Devon Taves, who's also incredible. But you lose Girard and Bowen Byram. Those are 2 big pieces. Nate McKinnon is doing everything he can. Both Nate McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen are playing over 20, almost 22 minutes a game. McKinnon has 3 goals, 16 assists, 19 points, 11 games. He's a +8. God, he's playing so well. But he only has 3 goals because he's doing everything. He has to do everything for this team offensively other than what Cale Makar does, obviously. Rantanen, 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points, 11 games. When I find out, when it's confirmed that Girard and Bowen Byram are out of the lineup, I'm going to bet the Nashville Predators. Take it, and they hate the Avalanche. You have a division, and you have Avalanche just coming back from Europe. I'm going to bet the Predators, but I would love it. I'm going to bet the Predators even if they're both not out in the lineup. But I would love to know
they're out of the lineup right now. Is that not the reason why the lines dropped as much? Do you not think they're like?
No, because we knew they were going to be out of the lineup. I think the lines dropped this much because it came up on the board, and the cappers went over the missing pieces of the Avalanche and combine it with coming back from Europe. I don't think it's just because it's a surprise they're out. I mean, I think we all expected that.
Yeah, I only, and you're saying, are the tickets coming in on Colorado, Jim? Do you think this line goes up?
I think it might help us to wait.
Like, yeah, I think, yeah, because you'll still play it even if Girard and and Byron Morin. You
Not
still
if they're both in. No.
okay.
No.
Okay. I don't think they're going to be playing along with Landeskog and Nichushkinen. So a little risky here. They're coming off they got slammed in the first period. The Predators did. I know that because I was on their dumbasses against Seattle. I first period, Jimmy, coming off that European trip too for Colorado. They were down 4-0 in the first period of Seattle. I bounce back spot here. Whenever I see that from a team, they usually more times than not, they're going to come back. And this is a team that they're not playing good, but they kind of remind me of St. Louis a bit, Jim. They're not as they're just underperforming big time. Now I'm going to take Nashville, Jimmy, plus 130 in this game.
That's all we're getting?
Yeah, I know. I wish I would have got.
What do you mean? It's plus 165. Oh, your first period.
First period. Full game. I can't trust Nashville right now. But with those injuries on the back line, I think that's going to affect.
I think the opposite, Gogster. I think that first period, you're going to have Makar out there for 11 minutes. You're going to have Devon Toews playing 11 minutes of it. You need to grind down this Avalanche team now. And McKinnon and Makar and Devon Toews are playing too much, and they've come back from Europe. So
you know what? That's a very I agree. I would want them. And I remember I watched the game on Saturday. You watched that game against Vancouver there, Nashville, Vancouver.
Parts of it. I didn't get
they were up 3-0 Vancouver. Nashville just battled. And you're right. 5-1 loss. You're talking me into that. You know what? Screw the first period.
RVD says Avalanche are a better second period team. They won't keep being that. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that we've seen them without Landeskog. They've handled that. Now they lose Nichushkin. Now they lose Gerard and Byram. I'm saying that we don't look at what stats they've compiled. We're going to start looking at the new stats they're going to compile, and those new stats they're going to start. Look, this team is 2-2 at home, and it's just we're going to get a nice price on the Avalanche futures because they're just not going to be able to keep this up. And
how good is Gorgiev? Like I don't think Gorgiev is that good of a goal. He's okay, but I think Nashville. I don't want to double up, but I do think Nashville will come out just after that 4-0 against Seattle. They're like they're not. I don't see them being down in this game, Jimmy, and then coming back. I see them kind of get up 2-0 to get up a little bit and then just keep maybe a Nashville team total over.
I was just thinking the same thing because I was like, I like the total, but what if Avalanche? What if we're just asking too much? What if Toews and Makar stop pinching because they know they're going to have to play 32 minutes with Bowen, Byram, and Gerard out?
Yeah.
Let's just see what that team total is quickly here. The team total is
minus 140. Fuck.
Yeah, I can't do that. I'm getting minus 155, but I could take the 3 at plus money.
I'm gonna stick with. You know what? No, I want both. I'm gonna go both because if Nashville's, they're not going to be down in the first period. Like that's the last thing I expect here. And if we're talking about the injuries coming back from Europe, just lost. We're down 4-0 in their last game, lost 5-1. Yeah,
I think goals are going to be scored in this game though.
I wouldn't shy off that. How I see this game going is I just think, like a 4-2, 4-3. I think Nashville's going to get up and just.
Let's lock in. Let's lock in. We got to move. So let's lock in here. Predators first period and Predators full game for you.
Yeah.
Can you find the best line available?
Plus 130. I was shopping around for the first period, Jim. That's the best I've seen, unless anyone in the chat.
Plus 130 for the first period, and then for the full game. Money line, we got you a plus 168 at 5 times. Fanatical
Jim says Gorgiev has a wave of regression coming. I think so too. Like this goalie and Gorgiev, he's, is Gorgiev going to be in too? He played both those games over in Europe. Are they going to go? Yeah. Okay.
You're a good man, Fat Wally. You are a good man. Thank you for becoming a member. He said he gave up his Tim Hortons Timbit addiction. A member of Pub Sports. All right, let's go into the final game here on the board, and then we get into NFL. 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Chicago Blackhawks 5-5-2, 1-3-1 on the road at Los Angeles Kings, 8-6-1, 4-3-0 at home. Saturated says this game potentially will go until kickoff tonight. Cheshire Cat says, love talk hockey. Thank you guys for supporting it here. Crypto.com arena in Los Angeles, California.
Spot for hockey, guys.
Let's go into the line history here in Blackhawks Kings. We have the Kings opened up minus 261. There's been no movement off of that. This total opened up at 6 and went up to 6.5, came back to 6. Now it's back at 6.5. Peter Mrazek, I have listed. I don't know if he will be between the pipes. 3.76 goals against average, 873 save percentage. Then we have Jonathan Quick sitting here with a 5.41 goal, 5.41 record, 3.02 goals against average, 897 save percentage, 1 shutout.
I love it. The chat's on fire right now.
Okay. I gotta stay focused here. Okay, shit. Okay, where's the? Did I do the cash flow already?
No.
Okay, they've given the Blackhawks half line value, 20% of the tickets, 83% of the cash, but this is, I think, the sign that I should start looking for. It's when they have the cash and the spread on them, because we know the pros aren't going to be betting minus 250s. 59% of the tickets, 89% of the cash is on the Blackhawks on the spread as well. That's interesting. 67% of tickets, 62% cash on the under, and it's gone up to 6.5. Blackhawks are well rested. They've lost their 5th game in 6, 4-0 Winnipeg on Saturday night. I told you to fade them without Seth Jones, but they're a very difficult team to fade, because the market has no respect for them. So it's tough. Tyler Johnson may come back tonight. Seth Jones out long-term. Kane playing 19 minutes, 42 seconds a game. He's been really good. Not quite as good as Jonathan Taves. I've been really impressed that the old Johnny Taves, Captain Sirius, is fighting hard to have an important role in the NHL. Still 7 goals in 12 games.
Kane might not be there by the end of the year too. He could be traded.
Yeah, you'd think, but I wonder what. I got to go over what he's offered them again for the places to go. But Kings come off their second straight win, 1-0 win at home over the Wild on Tuesday night. Velarde, 10 goals, 5 assists, 15 points, plus 3 has been awesome. Kevin Fiala has been a huge boon to this hockey team. 3 goals, 11 assists, 14 points. And Kopitar, you know what he's going to give you. Just an honest effort, win faceoffs, big body. Take it away here. Gogster, their last game on the board. Hammer it.
All right, final finale here, guys. The only win Chicago's had in the last 6 games was against LA. It actually cost me a pretty damn big parlay. They lost 2-1. LA did at Chicago in overtime there. It was actually a brutal giveaway from Fiala. So really, I think LA should have won that game. Give me the revenge factor here, guys. I know everyone loves, and they did come off a 4-0 loss Chicago to Winnipeg, but I'm going to trust LA here. Chicago, too, their goaltending situation is not good. All 3 of their goalies, Jim, are kind of somewhat – they're banged up in Soderblom, Stalock, and Mrazek. But it looks like Mrazek is going to go. It's his first game in like 3 weeks, too, for Mrazek. So I think LA bounced back here for them after that 2-1 loss about only a week ago. I lean to the under as well in this game. Chicago hasn't been able to score in the last couple games, last 3 games. So moneyline parlay. I was talking about Boston earlier, guys. Short and sweet Boston moneyline parlay along with the LA Kings. I got that at plus 110, Jimmy.
Gogster, Bruins, Kings moneyline parlay at plus 110.
Plus 110. Yeah, Byfield's out for the Kings, but they're.
I wonder if I could. God, I wonder if I could take the Kings minus 1.5 here. I don't think I can.
I think they, and they had one against Minnesota. I was really surprised that was such a low scoring game. I think LA. I don't want to take the puck line actually, Jim. Every time I take a puck line, I lose. So just taking money lines on both Boston and LA.
I wonder if I can do it.
Bruins.
They're such a well rested Blackhawks team. Yeah, Cheshire is saying not betting the Kings at that number. Yeah, I guess I can't do it. The Kings, they're 4-3 at home. You want to trust them?
That's why I'm throwing the money line parlay. Like overtime, Chicago get a point out of this game. They'd be happy with that. So
okay, let's review all NHL action here and move on to NFL. In NHL, we stayed off Calgary, Boston. Gogster's on the Sabres first period at plus 120, and I'm very interested, and I think I may move on it. I am moving on the under 6.5 in Edmonton, Carolina. Gogster's on no goal first 10 minutes, and that's a plus line there on the no goal. On the under 6.5. Philadelphia, Columbus, no goal first 10 minutes at plus 135 for Gogster. Gogster's on the Rangers in regulation at minus 105. I think the Devils are going to put a golf pin in between the teeth of the Senators and kick them in the face. And then I have some interest. So I'm going to take the Devils, and maybe I have to take them on the plus line. On the -1.5 to get the plus line rather than the -1. That'll be like -135 or 40. I was late to the party. I should be already on them at a +100 -1 line. I fucked that up. Coyotes, Islanders. I wonder if I want to move on the under 6. I think I do, but I'm going to need more time there. Sharks, Blues, we are off. Predators, first period in full game for Gogster.
I got to pray to the Lord Gambler on that one.
And I'm going to move on the Predators full game.
Predators have really got me in the old drink hole, as we used to say, Jim.
We still say.
Gogster, Bruins, starfish.
Bruins, Kings, money line parlay +110. All right, let's move into NFL and what a season that we've had. But stakes are high. I like that. Did not have a good Breeders' Cup, and then I have to send in my futures once the season's over, as some of you guys know. So I had to send in my Blue Jays losses of $1,150. I thankfully had the Giants, 500 on the Giants under the win total, but I had 400 on the fucking White Sox to win the division, which took all that money out. So in saying all that, the stakes are high, even though it's been a spectacular football season. I need a week this week. And I have made moves on the card, and I've destroyed line moves. And I only moved on Tuesday. I didn't even move the week before, but there's been a ton of moving parts. I don't know if you guys want to know my action here. I'll just pop in the chat here very quickly what I'm on right now. But some of these totals I just lit up and smoked. I'm very uncomfortable with my 49ers action. I'm a little uncomfortable with my Browns action. But this is where I am here. Let me pop that in. This is my. Oh, sorry.
I think I'm only one back on you now, Jim, in the contest.
Oh, we're trying to catch Jose. I'm not doing very well, but that's my action here. I'm on Broncos +3, -115. If you guys, I know this may. I just want to see, just get some more confidence. This is an important week for me after sending in the futures cash and having a bad breeder. So. I'm on the Broncos +3. It's a +2.5 right now. I got the under 39. That's at 36.5 right now. I got the Browns +3.5. That's where it is. I got the Raiders first half and the Raiders full game -3.5, -6. That hasn't moved. I'm a little nervous. I got Arizona, LA Rams under 43.5. That's 41 with Stafford and concussion protocol. And I'm nervous about my 49ers action. I don't really know what kind of week I'm going to get, but let's get to work here on the Thursday.
Thursday night football, baby.
Thursday night football and spectacular work. I'll have your numbers on our show will be from your Thursday night action. They won't be from your NFL Pub Hub action. That's separate. But you've been very good in NFL Pub Hub this year. I've been very proud of how strong your NFL cap has been this year. It's been very helpful, and I love it. Let's get to work. 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Falcons 4-5, 1-3 on the road. The Carolina Panthers 2-7, 2-3 at home. We're at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. 64 Fahrenheit and rain. 11 miles per hour is the wind.
That's big.
We'll go over some of the initial thoughts here in a bit, but I was like, God, there's going to be points in this game, right? There's going to be points. And then I kind of cooled on that idea. Let's take a look at what's gone on in the line history and with the cash flow. And again, don't forget, Connor Mack will be hosting our big NFL Thursday night football live stream right here on Pub Sports Radio tonight. The Falcons open up -2.5, -106. They're now -2.5 and -112. It did get to 3. It moved to 3 on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
And it moved back to 2.5 yesterday. From a total standpoint, it opened up at 41. It's now basically at 41.5, but it did get up to 42.5. It did get up to 43.5.
I have 42.5 last night. About 2 a.m. It was 42.5.
Wow. And it got up to 43.5
Wow.
Yesterday afternoon. Interesting. Now let's take a look at where the cash is here.
What's up, Nikki?
Cash-wise in the Thursday night football, we have 48,458 tickets in, and they've given full line value to the Carolina Panthers. 36% of the tickets and 69% of the cash on the Carolina Panthers. 58% of the tickets, 72% of the cash on the under. Whew. Baker is starting, Alberto. You are absolutely right. Baker Mayfield is starting. I believe. Is he not?
Oh, okay. Well, I gotta look it up more. I thought it was going to be PJ Walker, but chat's probably on one more. I was doing a lot of hockey research, but
I don't see how
Baker. Panthers. Baker made for the Brick State. Yeah, I think he might be in. Yeah.
The coin saying that Walker's starting again, and Billy Friedrich is starting. It says Walker starting again. Okay, PJ is starting. PJ is starting. So that was wrong on my take of watching the second half there. And okay, so Walker is getting another opportunity to start. I'm sure the leash is going to be short. There was a question about the money on the total again. You have 58% of the tickets and 72% of cash on the under. I think that sharp action waited till it got up to 43.5 and hammered that under. Brady said they said it was a short week, so they were going back to PJ.
Could be short leash. Yeah, I agree.
Falcons come in off the 2017 home loss to the Chargers. The running game was again excellent. The Falcons continue to struggle through the air. Kyle Pitts and Drake London are doing nothing. We have a Falcons team that's sixth in the league in third down conversions. The defense is getting no pressure. The Chargers went 8 for 16 on third down without their best two receivers. You have a Panthers team that's coming off getting absolutely destroyed. When a team comes off getting absolutely destroyed, I'm so close to saying I won't fade them. But you guys see that I'm on the Raiders this week, and that's because I think what Irsay's done is a complete, total joke.
Oh, that's a shit show.
So I can't say that I won't fade a team that comes off getting killed because we just saw the Colts get killed and I'm fading them. So if you okay. So here we have Deonta Foreman doing nothing after two monster games. They managed just 64 rushing yards as a team after rushing for 173 and 169. The Panthers are the worst third down team in the league at 26.67%. Their defense is poor. They just lost Brian Burns to a neck injury. Dante Jackson is expected. You're hoping he's still got this ankle injury. You need him there. The Panthers are 24th in opponent yards per carry. And that's why I don't know how anybody – I see the sharp money's on them. I know the sharps are on them, and there's no way I'm going to bet against them. But the fact that the Panthers are 24th in opponent yards per carry and the Falcons are 12th in the league at 4.8 yards per carry, it puts me at a loss. But then I do know that they're going to be running.
Yeah.
Take it away, Gogster. We want to hear your take. Falcons, Panthers, Thursday Night Football.
Well, as good as Atlanta's been, they got absolutely torched against Foreman there. What was it? A couple weeks ago, October 30th there. If you look at what Foreman did, Deonta Foreman, he had 26 carries for 118 yards, Jimmy. He lit him up for 3 touchdowns too. So they're going to go right back to that recipe. And if you even look at PJ Walker, he was fine against Atlanta there, 19-36. That was his best game, 317 yards. Other than that, he's done nothing. 177 against Tampa Bay, 60 against the Rams, 9 against Cincinnati before getting pulled. So I think it's a good bounce back for Carolina here. What I'm going to look towards, though, is I'm going to trust Deonta Foreman to have a bounce back because I had him last week too, Jimmy. And the show on Sunday, I had Foreman to go over his rushing yards, and he didn't against Cincinnati. But Cincinnati, I remember saying to you guys, they were strong at home. Their rush defense at home was much better than what it was on the road. So that proved a point last week. So I think Foreman has a bounce back. It's only 54.5, Jimmy, at -125 on Deonta Foreman. After getting 118, excuse me, last 2 weeks against Atlanta. Now you're at home after a huge bad loss where you got shut out to against Cincinnati. Foreman did pretty much. So I think Foreman goes over the 54.5 and also anytime touchdown on Foreman, Jimmy. I'm going to double down +125 guys. Foreman anytime TD. I think I don't think they try to get PJ Walker throwing the ball a lot. Just take advantage of what Foreman did 2 weeks ago. Same recipe.
I think this is smart. I really think this is smart. You attack the place where the Panthers are most vulnerable. So I agree what you're doing. Sorry, what was the juice? Was it over 52.5?
Over 54.5, minus 125. I saw some other books up to 57. So this line's it's moving up pretty quick. I got one more play too, Jimmy. It's a player prop. It's going to be Mariota over 29.5 rushing yards. Now that's came down a little bit, but I'm realizing here Mariota loves to run the ball. He had 24 last week against the Rams, 43 against Carolina, 31 against Cincy, 50 against San Fran. He's a running quarterback just as more than I thought. Throwing the ball 12 of 23, 20 of 28, 8 of 13, 13 of 14. Guy doesn't throw the ball he doesn't like throwing the ball. He likes using his legs. So I'm going to go over Mariota, guys, 29.5 rushing yards. That's minus 110, Jimmy. Like I said, it dropped too. It was 30.5 last night. This morning it went down a point. So I'm still going to trust it. I think Mariota, I think he runs the ball. He had 43 yards too. Rushing against Carolina 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to rock and roll with it, boys and girls.
I like what you're doing,
props I find are my best angles. I never been much of a prop player in any sport, guys, but when it comes to football, I feel like that's my niche when it comes to props. So I feel pretty confident in these two.
I don't think I can take the under at 41.5. I missed the opportunity to take it. And I guess the reason why was I was hesitant. I wonder with the rainy weather and all of the running.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if there's going to be fumbles. I wonder if defensive TD is in the cards.
And with the weather, you're right. That makes me like less. You're going to see less passing. When you're throwing the ball, it's just more room for error, in my opinion. When you're dropping back, slip out of the quarterback's hands, a receiver slip, something. There's too much that can happen. So I think they're going to run the ball, especially with what happened, what they did against Atlanta in the dome there, Carolina. So,
yeah, I double checked the wind today. It's fine. It's 11 miles per hour, but lots of rain. Birdie says Panthers off beating the Bucks last game. Panthers off getting smacked versus the Bengals is a Panthers spot. But Birdie took the Falcons money line because he thinks they scrap by because of what Patterson brings here.
Yeah, and I like that angle too, guys. On Patterson, they use him in every way possible. So
Billy Friedrich doesn't like the Foreman look because of Chuba being back.
Is he for sure back? I thought I had Chuba Hubbard questionable. I have him down as questionable. But yeah, even with Chuba back, you utilize what Donta Foreman's been able to do. Just last week, guys, he had an off week, but the last 3 or 4 weeks before that, he was rushing for like over 80 yards a game. So I love Chuba Hubbard, Canadian kid, out of Calgary, I believe. So, but I think Foreman's their guy despite.
Let's see the ferry from 4 hours ago. He plans to play.
Thanks, Nicky. Nicky likes the porn stash. Yeah, it's work in action. But yeah, he's expected to play, Jimmy?
Yeah, he is. Okay. Matty Ice has different info from me, so I'm gonna have to double check that. But that's a big deal. Probably part of the reason why I went under. He has easterly winds 10 to 20 miles with gusts up to 40.
I can do a quick.
Yeah, I had the gust this afternoon as well, Billy. But obviously, we need to.
It says tonight thunderstorms possible. 13 mile an hour wind gust as high as 21. So, yeah, I'm seeing a little more wind here.
Well, it's crucial.
Yeah,
it's crucial. I'm sort of with Cheshire. I guess I don't play anything on this game. I guess I don't. Birdie says this under could be a trap, in his opinion. Falcons put up 30 points just running. I think this weather is causing a bit of an overreaction. Falcons score on the ground. The reason why I can't bet the under is because I initially thought the game was going to go over.
So you're not on the Falcons?
No, God, no. There's no chance.
Jose too with the Falcons and the.
There is no chance that I would touch it.
Yeah, I lean to Carolina here. They've had 3 road games too, guys. They 3 games on the road: Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Cincinnati, LA Rams. They had 1 game at home that was against Tampa Bay where they beat them 21-3, I believe. So at home, short rest, getting absolutely crushed too. Atlanta's on the road. I think Carolina. This is going to be a scrappy game. I think it's going to be a 4-point game. 4 point or less. It's going to be a field goal game, I think, guys. But yeah, let's see some rushing yards. Let's see some rushing props cash.
I wonder if I could. I'll look at it at my own time, but I wonder if I feel like there's going to be some fumbles. There's going to be so much running with the wet weather and the handoffs.
Well, a dome team in Atlanta in these conditions, I'm going to say right now, that's probably not good for Atlanta. Being a dome team coming in these conditions, that's probably not ideal for them.
Sky Dragon on the other side, he said he initially thought the game was going to go under, but his number said play over, so he did. Okay, this is a tough one. Good thing we have Mr. Gogster here coming off this beautiful action on Pierce last week. He's on Donta Foreman, over 54.5 rush yards, and the anytime touchdown plus 225.
125.
Oh, the anytime touchdown is 125.
Yeah, 125 on Foreman.
And Mariota over 29.5 rush yards and minus 110.
That's it, Jim.
Gogster, you are a good man. Thank you for the hard work. Good luck with all your action. I'll review it again one more time at the end of the show. We still got NCAA football next. I can't wait to break down football. And then we got NBA to close up the show. Great work, Mr. Gogster. Where can we find you on Twitter and what you have in store? Is there golf coming up? What's going on?
Oh, yeah, Houston Open. Actually, I didn't tweet out my picks, but I can tell you guys right now real quickly. I'm on Aaron Wise. I'm on Woodland. I'm on Mark Hubbard. I'm on Figala. And there's one more. But anyway, guys, golf picks, they'll be coming up in the new year. Myself, Connor Mack, we put out a show every single week, giving out 6-pack golf picks. Hockey, football, KBO just ended. I got AHL hockey, nonstop sports picks here, guys. Jimmy, it's a privilege. It's a pleasure to be on with you as always. Guys, get that cash. We'll see you next week. Be good. Get after it.
I love it. There he goes, Mr. Gogster in the house. No, a late decision by me was to focus more on college football and NBA with the 4 sports. Tomorrow, we're going to have a full NCAA breakdown with Bobano here on the show. A full NCAA basketball breakdown with Bobano. But he is hosting the Friday show. I'm going to need to talk to him about that. I wonder if So I'll need to talk to him about that. We have a couple guys who want to jump on. We were going to have NCAA basketball with Cabby, but he had to take his daughters to get shot. So right now I just thought every spread is 20 plus in the 5 major games, and I just don't want to start my season with that right now. So let's move into college football, where we've been rolling. Yesterday was I love the way we broke down the games. I was upset we didn't get Western Michigan to come in, but we got the Northern Illinois team total under 24.5. We got the Kent State Bowling Green under 55.5, and we're sitting 28 and 14, 66.7% plus 12.8 units, ROI over 30%, average line minus 110. Let's get to work right now in college football and attack. Here we go. We start 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Tulsa Golden Hurricane 3-6, 1-4 in the American at the Memphis Tigers 4-5, 2-4 in the American. We're at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in Memphis, Tennessee. Beautiful weather, 65 Fahrenheit, clear, 3 miles per hour. I've started enjoying breaking down college football with you guys more than any other sport. I guess maybe because I'm not doing it on Saturdays, and I know I really need to take advantage of the midweek games. But I've enjoyed this immensely, and we're cashing, and it's helping. Let's get to work here. Let's start with the line history in Tulsa, Memphis. Move over here. Here we go. Sorry, taking a second for it to load. That's my son freaking out in the background. Okay, we have. Oh God, it's taking a second. Why don't we go into the cash flow here while that's loading? In college football, we have 3,480 tickets in Tulsa, Memphis, and it's all Memphis. 79% of the tickets, 88% of the cash. Then from a total standpoint, you have 72% of the tickets and 82% of the cash. And why is this not coming in? Oh, here we go. Let's give it another try. Sorry. I guess I'll pull up the line. Well, I know that it's gone from 6 to 7. But I would like to know exactly how it's moved. And I know that the 6 was on some of the offshores. I wonder, Let me just. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. So Pinnacle. Oh, that's Bookmaker. Let's move over to Pinnacle. Pinnacle opened this up at my +6 for Tulsa, and it's moved to +7. It moved to 6.5. They moved it at +7 at 9:45 this morning, and it got juiced up to -12. Now there's been a little bit of buyback on Tulsa. Tulsa +7 at -105. From a total standpoint, it opened up at 62 as a pick'em. It's now slightly juiced to the under. 62, and that all the money's coming on the over. Interesting. All this money's coming on the over, and at one point they dropped it to 61.5, brought it back up to 62. It has not moved off of 62 with all this money on the over. That is wild. James S. said, yo, man, you followed your play yesterday for college basketball after the comment Jimmy made about you, and it went big. I love hearing that. Nice job. And he's on the taint play today. We're going to talk about Wyoming here after we break down NBA. That's we'll close with his taint play of the day. All right, let's move down to the breakdown here. So, but just so we're all on the same page, it's moved 1 point with all the money on Memphis, and it hasn't moved with all the money on the over. Tulsa comes in off their second straight loss, 27-13 at home versus Tulane. One more loss, no bowl game, nothing. They did beat Memphis last season, 35-29, and they had lost 3 in a row to Memphis. Freshman quarterback Braylon Braxton has not looked very good this year. He didn't look very good in the loss to Tulane. He went 13-25 for 146 yards and a touchdown. He also rushed for 32 yards. Deneric Prince had this monster game a few weeks ago against Temple, and he's done nothing since. I shouldn't say nothing, but they're a different team when he's destroying the opposition. 231 yards against Temple, and he's done nothing of late. Let's talk about Memphis. Memphis comes in off their 4th straight loss, 35-28 at home versus UCF. Their offense has been fine. Seth Hennigan, 2,520 yards, 16 touchdowns. They have 2 game changers, one at receiver in Eddie Lewis, one at tight end in Caden Proscorin. It's their defense that is crushing them. They rank 8th in yards allowed per game, 412. They're 8th in the AAC out of 11 teams. They're 10th in the AAC against the pass, giving up 276.8 yards per game and 20 touchdown passes. Their defense hurts them badly. But the question you have to ask yourself is Braylon Braxton capable of hurting them, of abusing their defense? And can he get Deneric Prince the ball? I guess what happened after the Temple game was everybody understood that if you play Tulsa, you can only get beaten by Deneric Prince. So you fill up the box, you dare Braxton to beat you, and he's not capable of beating you. Matty Ice says revenge spot for Memphis. Jimmy Gomez, much love, man. Hope you are good tomorrow. Revenge spot for Memphis. Rant says 7 is too many. James Escott on Memphis on Sunday. Top Shelf is on Tulsa +7. Thank you, AOD. Rant's looking at the over. Billy Friedrich says both teams are giving up more than 400 yards per game. Everybody is seeing that. And everybody is betting the over. And yet, this line's not moving off of 62. Res Mob is on the St. Mary's, Vermont, under at 131.5. Thank you for sharing that with us, Res. We'll talk about that after we talk about the taint play of the day. Everybody is saying that is betting the over. Everyone's talking about. I think that the defense from Tulsa is decent. Decent enough to slow down Memphis. I mean, if you think about last year Memphis, what's that? 35-29 Memphis lost. And that was with Tulsa sitting here Now, you can say that Seth Hennigan is much better than he was last year, and that's fine. But Tulsa is a much better team, much better offensively. The fact that 89% of the cash is on the spread here and it's not moved further towards Memphis makes me think that Stimmy has the right look on the under 62. Because we all know how to defend Tulsa now. You fill the box, Deneric Prince can't beat you, they won't beat you. And then the defense of Memphis is bad enough that there still be long drives. You have to say that offensively, if you put both of the two offenses together, that they were better last year. These teams were better last year. Circus shows an under 61.5. Let's just see what Bet365 is showing here. They're showing a 62. This is a big game. These two teams have last year fresh in their memory. You have Tulsa off of 2 straight losses, Memphis off of 4 straight losses. So DC Capper looking at the over 62. I just think that with all the fact that at 8:20 this morning they would even drop it a half point makes me think that the under is live. I don't want to go up against DC Capper. We rolled together yesterday and it was great. But I think that the under is live. I think that that has to be the move here for me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm moving on the under 62. Under 62 for me in Tulsa, Memphis. Let's move on to the same time. The second game, not the late game, second game. Georgia Southern Eagles. This is going to be the fun one, anyways. Well, actually, the earlier game will be fun, but Georgia Southern Eagles 5-4, 2-3 in the Sun Belt. They call it the Fun Belt for a reason. That Louisiana Raging Cajuns 4-5, 2-4 in conference. We're at Cajun Field in Lafayette, Louisiana. 68 Fahrenheit clear, 3 miles per hour. Let's go to the line history here for the Raging Cajuns. We have Louisiana opening up at -3. They're now -3.5. From a total standpoint, it opened up at 59, and we've shot all the way up to 63. Wow. Coin has some over 62.5 in his pocket. Top crocodile like in the Cajuns here. If you like the Cajuns, that 3 was important to get the 3 and not the 3.5. Let's see where the cash flow is in this one. More tickets in here. 4,905 tickets in. 49% of the tickets on the Raging Cajuns and 61% of the cash. It's moved from 3 to 3.5. That's all pretty simple. And then the total's pretty simple. 62% of the tickets on the over and 80% of the cash on the over. That's pretty simple. Georgia Southern comes in off having their 2-game winning streak snapped in a 38-31 loss at home for Southern Alabama. Georgia Southern needs 1 win to become bowl eligible. And you have to give respect to what Clay Helton has done here. Everything. He's turned this offense from, the triple option to the spread style. He's changed completely. All of a sudden, they have this wildly exciting passing game. He has the Sun Belt's top passing attack, 4th in the nation. So they have Buffalo transfer Kyle Van Trees, averaging 331.3 yards per game. They put up a ton of yards, but he makes mistakes. 20 touchdown passes, 13 interceptions. Caleb Hood is a beast, a wide receiver, and he's not the only one. They have lots of pass catchers, lots of game changers. Matty Ice says, I have to take the points if I play this game. Easy as that. Billy Friedrich says, Georgia Southern gives up 485 yards per game. And Coin has the over 62.5 in his pocket. So this team passes so often that when they run, they surprise the opposition, and they're averaging 4.9 yards per carry with Jalen White and Gerald Green. They can do a lot of good. Pimp slap play of the day is on Georgia Southern plus 3.5. Pimp slap is in. Copy and paste that here. All right, that's the Georgia Southern side of things. Also, though, we'll move over to Georgia Southern's defense here. Their defense is bad, and they can't stop anybody on the ground. So let's talk about Louisiana here. Georgia Southern allowing 229.4 yards per game in Sunbelt action. That's terrible. The Raging Cajuns coming off their second straight loss, 23-17 at home to Troy. We knew that when Billy Napier left, that, and that spectacular season last year, that things were going to be worse. And they have been under De Sormo. They lose Fields, and then they bring in Woolridge. And Woolridge looked pretty good at first, but he's looked really bad of late. You could say that Southern Miss and Troy are much better defensively than Georgia Southern, and that would be valid. And you could say this is a great spot for Woolridge to bounce back. He looked 3 interceptions against Southern Miss. I mean, it was just done. He threw for 112 yards against Troy. They have Michael Jefferson, game changer on offense. They can't run the ball. It's a huge problem. Chris Smith looked a little better against the Trojans, but their running game is poor. And they're second in passing yards allowed in conference. They're strong at certain spots. 36% the success rate they're allowing opponents on third down, which is pretty good. But I can understand why Cappers are looking towards Georgia Southern. And I can also understand why Cappers are looking at points in this game. And I apologize for Carter in the background crying, but when it comes down to it, the over was the play. And we've watched it move now from 59 to 63. So I'm not going to come in at a 4-point difference. And maybe Georgia Southern is the look here. Maybe. But I don't want to go up against the Sharps. I've done that once. Once in the last month, I've gone up against sharp money. And that was on Bowling Green, not this week, but last week, -5, and they won by 4. So I guess I agree with the look on Louisiana. They've been playing tough competition. And sure, you can say that South Alabama is tough. That's a completely legitimate statement. But you had Georgia Southern at home. Now you send them out on the road in a game where the Raging Cajuns must win it. Top Crocodiles has books giving a 3.5 to attract Georgia Southern action. You're right. They're doing that. But they don't have, they're 51% of the tickets to 49% for Louisiana. So it's not a big difference there. But yeah, they're doing it to attract Georgia Southern action. So with all that being said, if it moved back to 3, I would take Louisiana. And I'm certainly not going to pay for the 3. And I'm not going to come in late on the total. So I'm not moving on Georgia Southern, Louisiana Raging Cajuns, which sucks. I will be on the under 62 in Tulsa, Memphis. And that sucks. I will cheer Mike on. Mike M. Pimp slap play today. Georgia Southern plus 3.5. But something tells me that after the Southern Miss game, after losing to Troy, and we know what Troy's capable of, that the Raging Cajuns are going to be ready to play here. And Georgia Southern is more than capable of keeping this game very close or even taking a lead. So, off for me. Let's move on to NBA. That's too bad. On the under 62, though, in Tulsa, Memphis. Let's move on to NBA. 7 p.m. Eastern. Oh, but let's talk about how terrible it's been. There it is, 13-22. Yesterday was atrocious. 2-4, down 2.35 units. Last year, I got down 23 units in NBA, and we finished the year up 17 units. So I don't like getting a slap in the face, but it's happening. I'm not going to hide from it. And I've only had, 5 years of doing this publicly. I've only had 1 year where I wasn't in the black. And every other year I've been up double-digit units in NBA. Every other year I finished up double-digit units in NBA. So, it's when you are our show, we pride ourselves on transparency and honesty, and sometimes it's going to be embarrassing. All right, let's get to work here in NBA. I'm excited to break down these 4 games. I think there are money-making opportunities. Let's get to work. We start at 7 p.m. Eastern, and not moving on Orlando yesterday was my head was so stuck on NHL and waiting for the announcement for Orlov and Carlson that next thing I know, I was like, oh, God, I forgot the game started early, and it just it hurt me badly. All right, let's get to work. We're at Capital One Arena, Washington, D.C. Dallas on the second half of the back-to-back after having their 4-game winning streak snapped in a 94-87 loss at Orlando last night. Dallas 4-1 over their past 5. All of our pace stats are past 5. 92.60 possessions a game. Sky Dragon saying the over here. Washington 2-3 over the past 5. By the way, keep an eye on Sky Dragon's action. 13-2 last night in NBA Spectacular. 96.5 possessions a game for these Wizards. Both teams playing at a very low pace, but obviously everybody saw how low scoring that Dallas game was. Let's start with the line history before we move deeper into the cash flow. And don't forget, in 1 hour's time, we have the Cappers Contest show with Jose Bouquet and myself. We're not far away from that. So let's get to work here on the line history. We have it opening up at Pinnacle yesterday with Dallas -3. They are now -3.5. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 207, and it's up to 209. Here we go from the cash flow here. We have 4,615 tickets in. 86% of tickets, 93% of cash on the Mavericks. It's all Mavericks. Then from a total perspective, 31% of the tickets and 67% of cash on the under, and yet it's gone up to 209. They're asking for more money on that under. Dallas's pace is so slow, but I wonder if after yesterday's debacle that they step it up. Luka held under 30 for the first time all season yesterday. 9 of 29 from the field, 2 of 11 from 3, 24 points, 4-game winning streak gone. Dinwiddie, 29 points, season high. That was after he did nothing in that win over Brooklyn. Washington snapped their 2-game losing streak, 108-100 win at Charlotte on Monday. Kuzma goes for 20. KP goes for 19 and 8 and 5. And their bench has been real strong. Arui Hashimura has been a big part of that. He's looking great off the bench. And now you have Jordan Goodwin stepping up. He went 7 of 7 from the floor, career high 17 points, 5 assists, 4 boards, 2 blocks. And someone's got to step up for Bradley Beal and DeLon White being out. And it will happen again as Beal was ruled out. And we know that DeLon's out for a long time. No Beal, Joe Chris. So the Wiz have lost 3 straight at home. AOD says the Mavs will crush them opening quarter. That is a very interesting look here to back Dallas right off the hop after looking so bad last night. I think that angle makes a ton of sense to me here. I know that a bunch of people are going to be backing them a full game, but I do like the idea to back them right off the top. Rant says Mavs look to an easy under, says it makes sense. Judging the pace of these two teams over the last 5, I would agree completely that it makes sense. The problem here is that you have big bets coming in on the under, and they've moved it up to 209, and you have Dennis Garcia on the over, and he went 13-2 yesterday. So I agree. I think this is a bounce back spot for the Dallas Mavericks, but I can't trust them a full game. They just seem to, they can eke this out. They can win. They can be down all game and come back in the last 4 minutes and cover a 3.5. But everybody's betting them. And the line's moved a half point. I would want to see more than a half point. Maybe it's already done that at Bet365. It hasn't. So I agree. I think Mavericks first quarter. I think the Mavericks are heated after falling apart so badly late and playing so porous. And I would like to dare. The idea is to dare Jordan Goodwin to do it again. And that's what I'm going to do. I like the look. Mavericks first quarter -1 at -110 for me. Let's move on to game 2 here. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia 76ers 5-6, 3-2 on the road at the Atlanta Hawks. 7-4, 4-2 at home. We're at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. Philly 3-2 over their past 5, 98.2 possessions a game. Atlanta 3-2, 102.76 possessions a game. And they look a lot different with Maxey at the point. Of course, Harden dealing with the tendon strain in his right foot. And I love this opportunity. We get to see 2 straight games. This first one is here Thursday night in Atlanta. Then they play again Saturday in Philly. Let's start with the line history before we kind of break down the situation. I find that's the best thing for me. So let's get started. Philadelphia opening at +1.5. They're now at +1. So a half-point move. So why don't we look at the money line? I think that'll give us a better tail. Atlanta opening up at -115. They're now -112. So Atlanta has got up as high as -119 and then being as low as -108. That's where we stand. Let's take a look at the total here. From a total perspective, it opened up at 222.5, and we're now at 222. We have a few spots where there is a rest advantage. And remember, there was no NBA on Tuesday night. So in those spots, you have a team on the second half of a back-to-back going up against a team that hasn't played since Monday. So this is the first one where we're in that situation. Sixers snapped their 2-game losing streak with a 188 win at home over the Suns on Monday night. They got Joel Embiid back. He'd missed 3 games with the flu, and he looked very good. Let's see where the cash flow lies on this. 5,787 tickets in, 49% of the tickets, 76% of the cash on the Sixers, although there hasn't been a major move towards them. Then you have 45% of tickets and 75% of cash on the under. 75% cash on the under, and it did get down to 221.5, but it's been bought back up to 222. Okay, so Embiid back, and he was a boss. 33 points, 10 boards. He looked dominant. Maxey scored 11 against Phoenix, but he's in a much different situation here as he is now controlling the point. The Sixers got a season-high 21 points from George Niang on Monday, but we know what happens when he's on the floor. You can pick on him defensively. Hawks are on the second half of a back-to-back after having their 3-game winning streak snap last night, 125-119 at home versus the Jazz. Trae Young came back, and he didn't look good. 10 of 28 from the field in a 125-119 loss on Wednesday. NJ Stryker, my man, thank you for checking in, and good luck, my guy. Robert Franklin on the Hawks money line. Here. I'd love to hear what everybody's doing in this game. So Trae Young comes back, and he doesn't look good. 10 of 28 shooting, 125-119 loss on Wednesday. Again, Atlanta's bench is so weak. It's just so weak. I feel like that Atlanta, let's just go over some first quarters for Atlanta of late. So I feel like the Atlanta first quarter is another look here. You just can't trust their bench. And the question is, do you think that Embiid can push around the Hawks front court? Atlanta did not look good in the first half or the first quarter. They stepped up in the third quarter and then got beaten up late because they have no bench. Dennis Garcia on Atlanta money line. Talk Sports with JT's on Philadelphia. And is it Philly first half money line or both? I guess you're saying Philly first half money line. Philly first half money line for Talk Sports with JT. AOD says take Atlanta. Go back to this spread. So we have big bets coming in on Philadelphia, market not moving towards them. You have Embiid, a problem. And you have bigger bets coming in on the under. I like unders when Embiid is clogging up the paint. I like unders when Embiid's clogging up the paint. You take away Harden's shooting, and you have an Atlanta team that's on the second half of a back-to-back and will have to worry about playing time, not wanting to push their starters too hard, and they have nothing when they go to their bench. All that I find appealing. Could you say that the total should have dropped more if the under was the play? The first move was towards the over. Went from 222.5 to 223.5. You just saw a bias from last night's high-scoring Atlanta Hawks game. Gas Report in the house. What up, Gas Report? And Ones says, liking Hawks first quarter. After having a terrible fourth quarter, they might come out on fire. Kadesh Dean is on Philly all day. And Kadesh Dean saying that Kadesh saying Atlanta looked terrible besides the third quarter. Bill McDonald says just take Embiid's points over. Billy Friedrich says these two are combined 15-7 to the over in the third quarter of the season. Atlanta was absolutely atrocious last night. And here you have a back-to-back, but with no travel. I agree. I think they come up fired up. But then they still have to go to their bench at some point. And their bench has been so bad. So let me just see what I could also just leave the first quarter alone so that we don't have to go to this Atlanta bench that keeps getting beaten up and just take the race to 20 points. Mike M says Philly doesn't show up in Atlanta and thinks last night was a look ahead for Atlanta. Alberto B says not the same Philly team we used to seeing. Well, we don't really know exactly what we're going to get from this Philly team because, we saw them without Harden and we saw them without Embiid. Now Embiid's back. I'm liking both these spots. So I'm going to move on the Hawks race to 20 so that I don't even need, hopefully, to get to their bench. ASDF says 76ers Monday night because people expect to bounce back. Look at Toronto. They barely came back. They did, and it cost me a lot of money. I'm going to move on the Hawks race to 20. And Coin says this total is moving up to 222.5. But that, okay, 222.5. Moving up late. But I don't even think that's because of what everyone just saw from the Hawks. Look, I know what I get when I have Embiid in the middle of the paint. Res Mob says when Simmons was the point, the 76ers were automatic first quarter and first half, not the case anymore. All right, I'm going to be on race to 20 and the under. And then the question is, how fast is this moving? Let's just take a quick look at the other books here. So Bet365 is at the 222. Bodog's at 222. Bookmaker still at 221.5. Bet Chris is still at 221.5. I'm okay here. Let's just see what Will Hill's doing. Will Hill's at 222. And Bet Online's at 222. Bet Online just moved it 8 minutes ago to 222. Oh, moved it back to 222 from 222.5. No, I'm comfortable with this. I'm on a Hawks race to 20, and I'll be moving on the under. And I'm involved. Action on the first two games. I like it. Let's move on to the next game, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Charlotte Hornets 3-9, 2-4 on the road at the Miami Heat, 4-7, 3-4 at home. We're at FTX Arena, Miami, Florida. Hornets are on the second half of back-to-back after losing 6 straight. But over their last 5, they're 0-5 with a 98.40 possessions a game. Miami's 2-3 at 98.30 possessions a game. Let's go to the line history here in this one. We have the Hornets opening up at plus 10. They're now plus 10.5. From a total side of things, it opened up at 217 and it's dropped all the way down to 214.5. It did drop to 214, so it has come back. There has been a half point of buyback. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. 2,421 tickets in, 65% of the tickets, 85% of the cash on the Miami Heat. It's moved a half point in their direction. Then you have a total that's a coin flip, but we've seen the books respect the bets on the under. but we have 49% of the tickets and 54% of cash on that under. Tori Coker says the Heat is the play. Robert Franklin says sandwich spot for Hawks yesterday. Played Bucks game before and had Sixers on deck. Kadesh is also saying that Heat is the play. Says Miami all day. 10.5 is a big spread. And then Dennis Garcia nails it. He says, Charlotte, what on earth has Miami showed you that delayed doubles? Astute Chaos, the under in which game? Here? Because Coin is on the under 214. All right, so Hornets on the second half of back-to-back after their sixth straight loss, 105-95 at home versus the Blazers. Still no LaMelo and Gordon Hayward. They also don't have Cody Martin coming in off the bench, and all three have been ruled out. Rozier and Dennis Smith Jr. are trying to fill the role of LaMelo, and it's not going well. Kelly Oubre, PJ Washington, Mason Plumlee, it's not looking good. Oubre was 1 of 11 on threes in the loss to Portland. That's just not going to cut it from Oubre. You can expect a better game here from Oubre. Hornets bench was outscored 35-22. Heat coming off their second straight loss, 110-97 at home versus the Blazers on Monday night. Tyler Hero dealing with a sprained ankle. He's day-to-day. Can we get on this game? Okay, Stu Chaos is on the under in this game. I'm with Dennis at this point, but let's talk about the Heat a little more. Is Tyler Hero coming back? Yeah, Kadesh, I agree that the Heat are a good defensive team, but we have a 10.5 point spread here. So you have a tired Hornets team, but maybe guys like Oubre want to get back on the floor. Jimmy Butler had missed 2 straight games. He came back against Portland and 7 assists and 6 steals, but his shot's not on. Bam is doing his best. Kyle Lowry, it's just sad watching him out there. 39.6% from the floor this year, 35.2 from 3. Top shelf looking at Bam for rebounds. This game doesn't appeal to me at all. Res Mob liking that Mariota prop that Gogster gave out. Let's get the most recent information on Tyler Hero and then go from there. So we know he was out on Monday. Let's see if we can just get the latest information here quickly. Tyler Hero. So this just came out how long ago? Oh, no, this was this morning. So Christian Wood out, Bradley Beal out, Tucker questionable, Trey Young to be decided. We know the 3 guys are out, and Tyler Hero still questionable. Do you really need to bring him back against this weak team? Ski Profit got the under 216.5. Great job. And he's on Miami minus 10.5. So that's a great spot. Getting in after early, getting the Charlotte team total under 102.5 as well. And I just would be curious to see what this team total is for me. This team total here, I'm sure it's dropped. Nice job getting in early. Oh, it's still 101.5 for Charlotte. 101.5. I guess I need more time here. I just, and maybe Skis picked the perfect time for the Heat to lay the smack down, but maybe it's the perfect time. Heat now they won 4 of 11 games against a Hornets team that's a mess. All right, Hornets Heat. I'll copy and paste Ski's action so we can talk about it, but at this point, there is no addition to my card here. Pop it in. All right, let's move on to the final game on the board tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. Portland Trailblazers at New Orleans Pelicans. Here we have both teams, both on the second half of a back-to-back. Trailblazers 8-3, 5-1 on the road, looking good this year. Pelicans 6-5, 2-1 at home. We're at Smoothie King Center in New Orleans, Louisiana. Portland 3-2 over the past 5, playing at a pace of 95.4 possessions a game. And Kadesh saying that Hornets haven't scored over 106 games as well. Yeah. I guess that's looking more and more like a real strong look. Ski Profits on the first quarter over 57.5 here. Sterling Gentry in the house. What up, Sterling? Ski Profit on the first quarter over. Tori Coker on the first half over in this one. Copy and paste that stuff. I apologize for my son crying in the background. Going to need some more. This whole side's going to be foamed out, so hopefully it won't be as clear. And I apologize for the lack of professionalism here on Betting with a Bag. Let's go. Line history here next up with this Portland spot. Portland, New Orleans. Here we go. Portland opening up at plus 6.5 and minus 105. They're now plus 6.5 minus 103. There's been no change there. From a total side of things, opened up at 225 minus 107 to the under. It's now minus 110 to the under. No movement there. Cash-wise, though, 21% of the tickets are on the Pelicans and 56% of the cash. So public moving on Portland, and the bigger bets are coming in on the Pelicanos. You have 70% of tickets on the over, but just 44% of the cash. So you have the public on Portland and the over, the bigger bets on the Pelicans and the under. And there's been no movement. The total's gone from 225.5. It went from 225 to 225.5 back to 225. And there's been no movement really on Portland or the Pelicans. Interesting. Kadesh going for a big score with Blazers money line. Coin like in the under 224.5 says haven't played anything yet. Billy Friedrich on Blazers third quarter plus 1.5 at minus 115. And we heard about the first quarter over from Ski and the first half over from Torrey. Jarek White's on Portland money line, and Astute Chaos leading Pelicans first half minus 3.5 and the full game under 222. Now, if we're getting a ton of different numbers here for that total, what am I getting? I'm getting 224.5. Okay. Let's break it down a little bit more. Lillard going to face McCollum for the first time. So these guys, 8.5 years together. And Lillard missed both matchups last year after the trade. He was hurt, obviously. Blazers come in after defeating the Hornets 105-95 at Charlotte last night, flying to New Orleans. Blazers on a 3-1 start to their 6-game road trip. They look real. Portland did not have Yusuf Nurkic and did not have Jeremy Grant, so that paint was open for business, but Charlotte couldn't take advantage of that. I guess you're right. If Charlotte can't take advantage of that, how are they going to score on the Heat? But if I don't believe in the Heat's offense, then maybe the under hasn't gone too low in that Hornets Heat game at 214. God, 214 though. You have the sharper cap, you have pros like Ski getting it at 216.5, and I'll have to take 2.5 points less. Wow. I'm only going to have to take 1 point less on the team total. Maybe that's what I have to do. The problem is that you have to think Oubre and these guys shoot better, at least early. Oubre 1 of 11 from 3. Okay, sorry. I'm back to that last game. I'll think about this Hornets team total in a little longer here. I just can't take the 214.5 or 214 if I was better, I'd be on the 216.5. All right. Let's get back to work here on this one. So Portland without Nurkic and Jeremy Grant. Can we get an idea of any of them are so at this point you even have Lillard as to be decided. So Lillard, Simons, Nurkic, and Grant all TBD. Huh. Simon scored 19, Shaden Sharp 17, Eubanks 14. Pelicans coming after beating the Bulls 151-11 last night. That was a tough game. Ingram stepped up late, but they went 3 of 19 from 3. If you hear Green talk to this team, it's all just defense. Defense. I think that the only problem is that paint is going to be available. I guess we need to know if these guys are going to be in or not. Nurkic and Jeremy Grant. Let's just see if Roto World can give us any kind of idea, any kind of hint. Does anybody, I guess, if the paint is for sale, then the Pelicans are going to smash this team. Let's just go to a quick injury report before we decide. This is the final game we have on today's show. We'll do a review of all action, and then we have the Cappers Contest NFL show right after this. Let's quickly move over here to this Portland Trailblazers squad. We get any info here? Well, they don't have either of Simons or Dame on the injury report. So, and they're not even. All right. Jeremy Grant was questionable, right, yesterday. There was a chance he could play. He wasn't doubtful. He was questionable. And one says Portland keeps getting disrespected. +7 is a no-brainer the way they are playing. Well, that's what the public thinks. And the public is with you. The public says bet the Blazers. The Sharps say bet the Pelicans. And the public's also on the over. Well, I guess I'm going to need a little bit more time here. Maybe they were saving Jeremy Grant to come back in this game. I guess I want the under, but I need somebody in Portland to be in the paint. And even if that's the case, it's the Blazers team total under is probably the spot. 109.5. I guess regardless, that's probably the spot that I want to bet. Ski Prophet says game will die out, but first quarter fireworks. I guess this is. I guess it's Blazers team total. I hate taking team total unders on dogs, but that's a stupid thing to make a black and white thing. I think that is where I'll end up because I could get in on that now and it won't affect anything. And what if the paint's wide open for the Pelicans? But they're going to be tired too. I think Blazers team total under and full game under. That was a tough game against the Bulls last night. I think Blazers team total under and full game under. All right. Sterling Gentry saying these big schools should embarrass these lower competition schools tonight in college basketball. Just saying. We are going to have full breakdowns of college basketball tomorrow on the show. I think I move on Blazers team total under and the full game under in Portland, New Orleans. I do. All right. And I can understand that first quarter over. I think that's a really sharp look ski with McCollum and Dame going head to head and having the Pelicans come off a 3 of 19 shooting game. All right. Okay. Let's review all action in NBA. I'm going to be on the Mavs first quarter -1 and -110. I'm on the Hawks race to 20, and I'm on the full game under. Then I've got to decide about this Hornets team total under. I think that it's got to be the play, doesn't it? It's got to be the play, doesn't it? I think I'm moving on the Hornets team total under. And then I have the Blazers team total under and the full game under in Portland, New Orleans Pelicans. There you go. That is our NBA review. And I need a night tonight. All right, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in college basketball. I'm only going to give you guys a couple plays here from our cappers in the chat. There's going to be nothing from me. We start tomorrow. So first off, we have the St. Mary's, Vermont under for Res Mob at 131.5. And we have the taint play of the day. The taint play of the day is Wyoming at -15.5 from our Matty Ice. I repeat, Wyoming -15.5 from our Matty Ice is the taint play of the day. All right, and then let's review all action. Coming off a 6-6 day, after a 6-6 day down 0.04 units when I got destroyed in NBA. It's I pulled it out of the fucking fire. All right, in NHL, Gogster's on the Sabres first period at plus 120, and I'm very interested in it. Then I'm moving on the under 6.5. That's at plus money in Edmonton, Carolina. Gogster is on no goal first 10 minutes at plus 135 in Philadelphia, Columbus. Gogster's on the Rangers in regulation at minus 105. I'm on the Devils to put their foot on the throat of the Senators, but I'm late to the party, and I'm not going to get a very good line, and it's pissing me off. I may move on the under 6 in Arizona and New York Islanders. I may do that. Vejmelka's been good. Maybe they put on a little show, Vejmelka and Sorokin. I got to sit with it longer. Sharks, Blues, I'm off. Gogster's on the Predators first period at plus 130, full game plus 168. I'll be on the Predators full game. Then Gogster is on the Bruins, Kings moneyline parlay. Oh, if it says November 9th on the total or on the title, that is my fault. And once, thank you. I will go in and fix that. Then in NFL, Gogster's on Deonta Foreman over 54.5 rush yards and anytime touchdown plus 125. Mariota is on the over. Oh, and he's on Mariota over 29.5 rush yards minus 110. This is a tough one. I think that probably the best way of handling this is just to bet it live. And you can do that here at Pub Sports Radio. Connor Mack will be the host. Then in college football, I'm on the under 62 in Tulsa, Memphis. The pimp slap play today is on Georgia Southern plus 3.5. If we get back to 3 for Louisiana, I might question too much why it came back to 3, but I would probably move on Louisiana. I have no move on that game. I'm not betting that game when the show ends. Then in NBA, I'm on the Mavericks first quarter minus 1. We already went over all that. So there you go. There you have it. Thank you guys so much for supporting our show here on Pub Sports Radio. And Coin moving on the over. Shoot, he's moving. Oh, on the Louisiana game. Okay, good. Sterling Gentry also did not touch Falcons Panthers. Says dumpster fire game. DC Capper sharing his NCAA action with us. Virginia Tech minus 22.5. And Texas Tech minus 20.5 and South Illinois plus 8.5. And you will be getting college basketball from us tomorrow and moving forward. It's tricky right now, and I like to have an expert deliver the goods. And I'm excited, though. I'm excited about this year. I get it, Nasty Nate. I get it. It's a little long in the NHL. Don't we need to worry about that tomorrow? Very small NHL card. But you will have to worry about CFL playoffs. There is just 2 games. So if you don't want to know anything about Canadian football and anything about the NHL, then come in about 45 minutes into the show. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support. It's just so much fun to have the opportunity to cap with you guys. It means the world to me. Ski Profit, Razor Sharp Picks, Nasty Nate, Rez Mob, Sterling Gentry, Jarek White, Tori Coker, DC Capper, Coin, and Ones, Matty Ice, Jake Burns, Billy Friedrich, Kadesh Dean, Top Crocodile, Ed Searfoss. Ed Searfoss looking at Lillard over 25.5 points, minus 115. ASDF says Pelicans have lost 10 of 12 last back-to-back. Creekman says little Carter makes my day. Oh, thanks, Creekman. I love hearing that. He makes my day too. He's a sweet kid, man. Dances nonstop. Guy just dances. If there's anything to do, he'll dance it out. Robert Franklin, Astute Chaos. Thank you guys. Top Shelf. Dennis Garcia. Let's go out there and get that cash. I love this. Thankful. So thankful. Tomorrow we get to do it again. On behalf of all of us at Pub Sports Radio, thank you guys for your support. Thank you to my producer, Jose Bouquet, who does such a great job. And please join us for the Cappers contest in 31 minutes. And Coin, thank you. No res, we have 31 minutes. We're good. We got 31 minutes. And Coin, Cappers contest is tough coming on right after this one. But it's a really fun show. It's a really, really fun show. And again, DJ Big Boss needs our prayers and love. Please send him a DM. Reach out. Tell him how much you love him and that we're all thinking of him. It's day 3 for him in the hospital, and we want him to come home. We want to come home to his family, and we want him to come back to doing shows with us. And he is, I don't know how anybody can be more enjoyable in life than our DJ Big Boss. He's just the best, man. He's just the best guy. So please reach out and give love to our DJ Big Boss. Now go out there and get that cash. Cappers contest, 30 minutes. Leche. Hey, those bookmakers.